Back at it. Podcast Central. Coastal Chronicles NYC. Your boy, Tank Sinatra, a.k.a. Taino Domingo, a.k.a. Don't call me anything, and definitely not late for dinner. You hear me? With my brother, Dren Starr. Talk about it, sir.
What's going on, brother? What's going on?
Listen, man, another one.
Another week, another
got
episode.
Another one. A dope one, too, at that. But let's talk about this jersey, bruh.
What about it?
Come on, man.
Football
you coming
season
up in
is
here flexing. I don't be liking that, man. Like, listen, you supposed to do what you do, man.
You know?
You know what I'm saying?
Big dude say vibes.
You see the, you know what I mean? But this jersey though,
yeah,
that thing, everybody want that jersey, man.
I know. I get a lot of. Yo, let me. You know, I'm on some 101. I want.
Yeah. You definitely.
What I'm rocking, I don't want nobody else to rock it. You know what I'm saying? So this is where this. You know what I mean? This is special, customized.
Listen, I get it because you definitely 101.
Yeah. What's good though?
That shit is hard. But let's get this thing rolling, man. We got a goodie. You know what I'm saying? And you know. Let me just get to the monologue, man, because I'm going to have fun in this one. On today's podcast, we delve into the dynamic world of a talented individual who is making waves in the entertainment and marketing industry. As an account executive for iHeart Media, prestigious radio stations Power 105, Light FM, Z100, KTU, and K104, our featured guest delves cutting-edge marketing solutions for clients by harnessing the power of iconic brands and the plethora of resources. With a keen eye of detail, she has crafted integrated 360-degree advertising campaigns that span radio, digital, social, and on-site activations. From liaison with clients to presenting campaign ideas and monitoring effectiveness, her role is pivotal in driving success in the fast-paced world of media. Meanwhile, she is also a founder and manager of Brittany Rae Productions and is a driving force in diversifying creative content across theater, television, and movies. Through her visionary leadership, she provides a platform for individuals to showcase their talents in acting, singing, dancing, producing, and writing. Sheesh. Mm-hmm. From sold-out shows at New York's famed Alvinelli Theater to managing budgets, the cast, the crew, and producing music albums, her passion for storytelling knows no bounds. Join us in uncovering the journeys, challenges, and triumphs of this remarkable woman who is shaping the landscape of marketing and entertainment. Ladies and gentlemen, Ms. Brittany Rae.
Hey.
What's happening, Queen?
First of all, when I win an award, I need you to present me like that.
Listen.
Yo,
I'm like, who wrote that?
Yo, you just created a lane, bro. That's you. You like on 4 for 4 on the intros, bro.
Yo.
Britt, I'm gonna tell you.
Thank you.
Listen, like he says, this is something that I because it's cool to just be like, yo, this is my next guest, and then go into. But sometimes hearing it, you probably even yourself probably sitting like, damn, nigga, I did all that.
Yeah, right.
You see what I'm saying? So
at
the end of the day, it's like when you walked in here and I told you, I've been telling this man since January, I need her on the show.
Thank you.
Because at the end of the day, it's sort of like when Barack became president.
Yeah.
Nobody thought a black man could be a president.
Mm-hmm.
Little girls in the hood really not thinking about what they could be as far as in this realm.
Yeah, absolutely.
See what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So with that being said, you know, I gotta salute you because you're dope, your energy is dope, and the things that you try to do and will continue to do moving forward, like that shit is dope.
Thank you. Thank you for having me. I'm happy to be here. I'm always here to support. I love what you guys are doing. So
Facts.
I know it might have took a while because this summer I was a little busy, but never too busy for y'all.
Here.
Like I'm gonna pull up by the end of the year. I'm here. So
listen, everything goes in God's plan.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Sure.
But with that being said, give us a little background about yourself, like where you from.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? How you grew up.
Yeah. So what most people know and may not know about me, I kind of grew up in the music industry. So I didn't grow up in sales. I didn't have a background in sales, but my dad, he was a big heavy hitter in the industry. My father is Fly Ty, Tyrone Williams. He produced Mr. Magic's Rap Attack, which was the first hip-hop radio show in history. So hip-hop would not have been anything if it wasn't for Mr. Magic and him and Marley Marl. So when you hear like Biggie's song, like every Saturday, Rap Attack, Mr. Magic, Marley Marl, like
classic.
My dad, he held the FCC license to be able to produce the show.
Wow.
My dad, he initially wanted to do like sports radio and cover like high school sports. And then Frankie Crocker actually came to him and was like, no, we got this new there's this DJ that's really, a legend up in the Bronx, and he wants to produce a hip hop show, but he doesn't have an FCC license, and that was Mr. Magic. And he was like, my dad, he went to school, he went to Howard, and so he studied broadcasting, so he held that license to be able to produce this show. And they're like, it's this new type of music, hip hop, and literally became a legend and created legends. So what would happen is these kids would bring their tapes of music up to the radio station to play it on the radio, because there was no hip hop music to really play. It's like, okay, I got a tape, I got a demo, please play my music. And they started playing the music, and they all started hitting. And so these same kids would go to the record store and say, hey, like, how do I hear Roxanne Shante? How do I hear these artists, Love Bug, Starsky, all of them? And they didn't have any management. They didn't have any labels that signed them. Like, it was all new. So the people in the stores would be like, who, what? And they're like, we hear it on Mr. Magic's Rap Attack. Like, how do we get the songs? Yeah. And they were all kids, too. So he signed Big Daddy Kane. He had Cool G Rap. He had Biz Marquis. He had MC Shan. He had Roxanne Shante. But they were all younger. My dad was in, like, his, like, mid-20s, late 20s. And honestly, like, he built a rapport with them, playing their music on the radio. And then their parents were kind of like, well, they would go home and tell their parents, like, we're going on tour. And their parents would be like, no, you're not going on no tour. And then it got to the point where it's like my dad was like more of the business. Mr. Magic was like the face of everything. And Marley Marl was the production genius behind it all, like putting everything together. Like Legend. They said that he could like literally take apart the entire board and put it back together.
Yeah. Legend.
And so he created Cold Chillin' Records. And so he signed all those acts, and him, Andre Harrell, and Russell Simmons were roommates back in the day, and they all talked about how they would start their own labels.
That's crazy.
Like,
that's an ill story.
Like legendary, like crazy.
That's like a scene out of Crush Groove.
Yo, right for real. So it's like they all had dreams to like start these labels, and they all did, and they all had these amazing acts, and like they all seen like the potential of these kids, and they would grow to become like these major superstars. So. And I will say, like, growing up, I didn't know what it meant. I just knew I lived in a nice house with, like they were, like, my aunts and uncles of the industry. I didn't really understand the impact. I couldn't really appreciate the impact as a child. But I knew that when we would go places, like, and my dad is very, like, he's on the business side, so he wasn't, like, the face of everything. Like, his friends were more, like, you know, like, people know who the record label owners are. But to the industry, like, everybody, they're like, Fly Ty's your dad. Like, everyone says that. It's just like, what?
That trip you out?
It do. I appreciate it more in my 30s more than ever. I don't know what it is.
No, because now you appreciate the culture. Back then you were too young.
Yes.
So you didn't understand what really was going on. And then back then it was like brand new.
Absolutely. Like my mom, she had told the story about how like Roxanne Shante was just like hanging out at our house, and she's like, hey, let's go to Church Avenue one day. And she's like, I can't go like this. And then my mom was like, no, it's okay. Come on, we just go into the store. And they went to Church Avenue in Flatbush, bombarded. My mother was so scared. And my mom, she didn't know nothing about hip-hop music. She grew up on, like, Frank Sinatra and Celine Dion. Yeah. Like, she didn't know nothing. So she just, like, okay, come on, let's go. And they was, like, surrounded. Like, imagine, like, a superstar just showed up with no security, nothing.
Yeah.
So, like, even for her, it was, like, such a shock of what the hip-hop industry was becoming and what it, you know, it became.
We talking pre-social media.
Yeah, pre-social media.
It was pre-hip-hop,
Pre-hip-hop.
Like,
this is the curation of it. Like, I mean, like, my dad was such a pioneer in the sense that he also, like, helped curate careers even outside the ones that he worked with. Like, I mean, RZA had told my dad the other day, like, you know, you bought my first beat. Like, the first beat that anybody ever bought of mine. Wow. He was like, he had bought it for like an MC Shan track. And he said they never used it, but he said to himself, like, if this guy will buy my beat, I could do this. Like, and my dad didn't even know that. He's just helping kids out. And they were like, I buy it. Like, he's just like, what? Like, the RZA? Like, and these are all his friends. Like, LL was like one of his really close friends as well. Like, they all started and became pioneers together. So as I was getting older in the industry, myself, he also turned what was, you know, he had Cold Chillin', and then he became the VP of Warner Records. And then after that, he helped start Hot 97, which was the first hip hop radio station. And so for me, I feel like that's when I thought it was cool, because by then I was in school, all the kids knew what Hot 97 was. I'm like, that was when I was a cool kid. Like, we would have show and tell. And I'm like, Daddy, I need you to bring me some Hot 97 stuff. And it's like funny because it's like I'm in elementary school, but he would like go raid the promotions closet and give me like hats and stuff. And that's when I was like the cool kid. Like, so I was like, okay, music is like something that I'm very much interested in. I mean, I heard, like, I always say, like, hip hop was like my lullabies. Like, we would hear, like me and my brother as a kid, we're hearing all these music legends in the car, in the house. So it's like music has always been a piece of my life. And so when I went to the University of Albany, I studied business management and marketing. I minored in communication, so I knew I wanted to do something in business, but on the management side, kind of similar to my dad. And once I graduated college, then I applied for an internship at WBLS radio station. And at WBLS, like, I was doing everything. Like, I was, learning all the back ends of the radio station and everything, but I did not tell them who my dad was. Like, that was the one thing.
I was just about to ask
I did not tell them, because I'm like, nah, like, I'm like, number one, I don't know if they're going to haze me. I don't know if they're going to, or they're going to treat me like I think I'm entitled or something. I'm like, and I was such a nerd in school. Like, you would never, like I said, like, we had such a normal childhood growing up. Like, we were never in, like, the forefront of, like, celebrityism and like famous and stuff like that. Like, we had perks, but we still had to get a job. Like, my dad did not play. Like, he was like, you got to learn, you got to be good in school. Like, we never had like we weren't spoiled in that sense. So
you did a great job.
Yeah, he's an awesome dad. And so once I was working at WBLS, I didn't tell them. I'm literally like just working in radio and learning radio and all of that. And we had like an internship. We had an internship project, like a summer project we had to do. And it was about stepping into the role of a salesperson and doing pitches and brand partnerships and things like that. And I knew nothing about that. So I just walked around the radio station asking people, like, how do you sell? How do you work with partners and things like that? And I had built out this whole radio campaign, and we had to present our project at the end of the summer. And I won the best project. And then my dad called on my last day. And he's just calling the radio station, and he's calling them like, oh, how's my daughter doing? And they're like, who's your daughter?
Wow.
And then he was, chills, right? And then he's like, Brittany Williams is my daughter. And they're like, what? So then they come to me. I thought I was in trouble. Like, Brittany, like, Dion wants to see you in his office, which is like the CEO of VLS at the time, the market president. And he's like, Fly Ty is your dad. How come you didn't say anything? I'm like, because I wanted you guys to learn me for who I was. And they all had stories from like back in the day with him at BLS and like Hot 97. It was just crazy. So, but it was just like me, like making my own way in the industry, And so after I finished up my internship there, then I had to finish my last year of college. And then when I graduated, they called me and was like, Brittany, we have a position for you in sales. Would you want to work for WBLS? So
fire. Listen, that's a lot of people don't understand. That's the whole point of interning. Like a lot of people don't. It's more about, it's not people, I don't want to get coffee for nobody. Listen.
No, it's a hustle.
You in there. I mean,
levels, man.
That's how you start, but it depends on where you want to take it.
Right.
You could run to the store all day if you want, or you could do what you was doing and go to everybody's, work the room.
Absolutely. And those relationships, like, people don't like entitled people who feel entitled about anything. And
especially in this industry, forget about it.
Right, of course. It's like, soon as and we were talking about that earlier, like, your energy when you first meet somebody, it's like, do you want me to help you get there, or you think I'm about to just give it to you? Nobody's gonna give you anything, because everybody has a story. And so for me, it's like, I really had to learn. Like, it was so funny too, because the head of the internship program, she didn't even want to take me as an intern. Like, it was so weird. She's like, I already picked my interns, blah blah blah. And like,
I know she was like, if I gotta call my pops,
and I still did it. I'm still like, that's the crazy part.
Don't make me pick that phone up.
And it's like, it was like, even when like because then it was like, I had already applied like 6 months earlier. I tried to submit everything on time, like early and everything. But by the time the submissions came in, I guess, I don't know, I just like fell through the cracks. That when she actually had me as an intern, I felt like she was kind of like, okay, I did see that you submitted it early, so we're gonna select you as an intern, but like it was just like a whatever. Like, I'm an afterthought. Like, if it's 10 interns, I'm the 11th. Like, I'm the stepchild of the interns. Yeah. And she was like, not mean to me, but she was like like, she don't play. Like, she's one of them black girls that just like, businesswoman with her heels. She's killing it. And she became like one of my mentors to this day. Like, I became her favorite intern. And it's it's just funny how it's like those
that inception meeting where you meet somebody, they be coming at you mad greasy.
Crazy.
Later on, y'all turn into family.
Oh my God. Like, literally, I could call her, and she like helps guide me in my career decisions and everything, because she's like been there in those positions for herself. She was the marketing director for WBLS. Then she went on to Citibank. Then she went on to Essence. Like, she's like a big wig, but she inspires me, like I'm happy that she didn't like just hand me anything. Like, and we talk about it to this day. She's like, yeah, because I didn't even want you as an intern. I'm like, I know, that's but crazy. You got stuck with your baby, with your daughter, like literally. So, you
dropped a gem right there. I just want to let you know.
Oh yeah.
So do you have interns?
So let me tell you something. Do I? First of all, so that's the craziest thing.
We gonna get spicy.
So it's so crazy. So funny enough, so the company. So people always ask me like, why'd you want to work for Hot 97? I didn't work for Hot 97 first. I worked for WBLS first, which was like, because I love my Luther Vandross. Like I love my Frankie Beverly.
Were they still on the MS at the time?
They weren't. So this is when I started before it was at MS. It was, I think, Inner City Broadcasting is when, and then it went to YMF Media, and then when 2 years into me being at WBLS, they got acquired by MS, and MS owned Hot 97. So by accident, I kind of started working for Hot 97 because Hot 97 bought WBLS. So people were like, "Oh, you want to work for Hot 97?" I'm like, "Nah, I was chilling at BLS. The oldies,
cool. Ain't nobody shooting guns in front of the.
Nah, we was good.
You ain't gotta worry about none of that drama.
And it was such a family. Like we used to have this thing called Six Flags Day, where like they would take your whole family. You put 4 friends. Like it was just such a. It was
community.
It was such a community. Yeah. And so once we got acquired by Hot 97, then now I was working as a local sales assistant. So I was working on just local brand partnerships. Underneath the account executive. So I'm learning. This is like me at the bottom, like learning okay, how do you sell sales and all of that. And then once Hot 97 acquired us, then I got promoted to national sales planner, which I was working with the national sales director for Hot 97 and WBLS. So now I was officially working for Hot 97. I was working on brand partnerships for Summer Jam, for they had we also had Power 106 at the time, which was in Los Angeles. So I was working with both of those brands, and I was delivering. I was working with Apple. I was working with AT&T, McDonald's, all these top brand partnerships. And in that role, it was literally just me and the manager, the national sales manager. So I wasn't under account executives that were selling it. It was literally him selling it and me, and pretty much I was selling it too. So it threw me into a whole nother world of selling, where I was working with bigger brands that had $1 million budgets. I was coming up with ideas, and honestly, when I was in that role, the role prior, I was coming up with a lot of ideas and working with the account executives on how could we curate partnerships. And I say that because this is what you do all day. Yeah. But it's curating what those ideas and experiences are for people. I was learning it on a whole nother level. And so I did that for a while, and then I went to my manager and I was like, how do I become a seller? Because I'm making all this money for everybody else. Let's go.
Yeah.
And he was like, "Oh, you're still young." I was in my early 20s. He's like, "What are you, 22?" No. And I was like, "What?" I want to sell. So he had made this deal for me, okay, if you sell, I can give you commission off of it. But he's like, I just feel like you're not ready yet. So I was like, okay. So I started selling as an assistant. And I started making so much money. The other account executive was like, nah, how come she gets she got a salary and she making commission? She's lit. What's going on?
Put that work in.
I was doing I was okay.
So hold on real quick, but not to cut you off.
Yeah.
Give us an example, how that process worked for you.
Yeah, so one of the examples, we used to have Circle of Sisters, which was the biggest Black women's expo in New York. It was a 2-day event at the Jacob Javits Center. They used to have a concert on Friday at Madison Square Garden, and then when they would have 50,000 women, it was literally essence of New York City. It was a huge event. And so by day, I was working with account executives and working with the national sales managers to close deals, but I could find my own money. So I could go, so I had went out and I had started working with, I think it was some dating apps, I think it was BLK dating app or something, and I had reached out to them hey, we got this big event coming up. This is when Devon and Megan were dating, and they were doing a whole panel on relationships and things like that. And I went to them and I pitched the whole campaign for them to sponsor this relationship panel. And it was I don't know, at the time it was a $30,000-$50,000 deal. And it's I'm doing the job of what a regular account executive would do. And so they were sponsoring, I had them sponsor the actual panel, curate content on social media. I had Devon Franklin, he had worked with me to also push out a sponsorship for he had a book coming out. He was doing all those relationship books, so I got the partner to come in and sponsor that. So I was curating, and then at that time, Summer Jam, so I brought in the BLK app to sponsor Summer Jam. And this is also the beginning of influencers. So right now I work with Ivy Rivera, Ivy. Of course, yeah. And
She's my yeah, we're not gonna we'll talk about that.
So I had hired her. I hired a bunch of different influencers to come and promote this dating app. But this was like the beginning of like working with content creators, working with influencers, and activating them around different sponsorships. And then that it was unheard of because I was making a salary and then doing the job of an account executive. So I would come and do everybody else's work and then make my own money on the side too. So,
I mean, listen, when you tapped in and you got the relationships, because they put in you a position to build relationships.
Yeah, of course.
You know what I'm saying? So we're gonna go back to my question.
Yeah.
Do you have interns?
Oh, right, that's what happened.
You went skirt. You went down the other road.
So right. So what I was getting at is when I started working for Hot 97. What happened was once I started working for Hot 97, when we merged, the person that was in charge of the internship program was no longer there or had moved on to like a new role. So there was nobody there to direct the interns. So they were like, Brittany, you were our last really great intern that we, enjoyed. How about you run the internship program? And I was like, sure, I loved it because I still was very young. So like, it was like me, and then like the next age up from me was like in the 30s. So I didn't really I didn't have nobody like really like, I didn't really have anybody my age to hang out with working in radio. Like everybody else was much older. So the interns, they were closer to my age. I'm like, sure, I could teach you what I just learned. Yeah. Exactly. And so did I have interns? Absolutely. I worked on that internship program for like a good 5-6 years. And right now, like all these interns that I hired back in my Hot 97 days, they're all like movers and shakers in the industry now. Like, one of the girls I was just with, Melissa Sassy, like she worked with Fabio, she works with A Boogie, she works with so many different artists. Toby, she's the head of, she works with Gabe on the Radar. She's his executive director for everything. Like Gabe, he's like on, I think, Capitol Record. Like all my intern, like another one, Nick, now he's the executive producer for Angela Yee's show. Wow. And I see him like, I'm telling you, it's another. I can name so many. Anne Marie, she was a big head at Warner and worked on the Maury Povich show. It's like so many interns that I had that I just trained them in the way that I was trained and just like supported them in the way that I was supported. Like they all have gone on to do great things, and I'll be in these weird situations where people are like, Brittany, you know everybody, or how you know this for them? I'm like, they was my intern, and it's weird in the sense that. That's how my dad was too. It's like so many people that was his interns. Like I just met this guy, Chris Green from
Chris Green, wow, Tommy Boy days. Wow.
That's my dad. Like he interned for my dad. Like I didn't even know. I just met him a week ago. And
that's crazy.
And he's like, Fly Tom, I worked for your dad. Like crazy. Like stories like that. Mona Scott from Love and Hip Hop, she was my dad's intern. Like crazy. Like and I didn't even ask for it. Like I just at the time it just what made sense for the company. And I just opened like my arms to the way that people embraced me and taught me things in the industry. So just to see that a lot of the interns that I gave back to, they all became like these really big like giants in all their little industries. It's like if I need something, I need a favor. Dope. I need a favor.
I know you.
I did have interns.
I know that shit gotta swell your whole spirit whenever you see somebody that was under you.
Crazy. Dope. Another girl, she's like the head of production over at Revolt. Like so many different brands and companies and. I don't know. These kids, like, they all came hungry.
You know what's fire, though? How you got to, like, this whole industry, we know each other. We do favors. We look out for each other.
Yeah.
But, like, when you got to call your intern for a favor, that's crazy. Wild.
But that's life, though, right?
Yeah.
Because I think a lot of people think, like, my dad always told me this, like, people think that true power is the ability to say no, but true power is the ability to say yes. Because then if you say no, I'm going to find the person who tells me yes. And people don't forget how you treat them, Mm-hmm. So some people be like, oh, you're an intern, I'm not going to support you and all this, like, try to hit you, like push you down. Like and then a year, 2 years later, this person's the person at the door or this person got this artist and this and then they remember how you treated them. Like I've been in positions where people have played themselves. And I'm like,
in this industry, they do that. Yeah.
And it always comes back around. So that's like, if I call my intern for a favor, it's always because I always have respect for them. I don't treat you crazy. Like I always taught you things that are life lessons that you could learn or taught you, like introduce you to people that could take you to that next step, that next level. So, yeah.
So what does it take to intern for you? What does it take?
It takes give me 10 Douces at 10 o'clock. No, I'm just kidding. That's a Douce. No, honestly, I'm not even like, I don't even be asking for nothing crazy. I'm more of like the teaching part of it. Like I want you to come ready to learn. You know, like.
So do you get the interns from like, because I remember when I had a studio back in the days, I was cool with the intern coordinator at Institute of Audio Research.
Okay.
So of course I had a recording studio, and she should just send me 20 resumes a day.
And you got to just look through them.
And you got to look through them.
Yo, absolutely.
So what are you looking for?
So I think that one of the things I will always look for is like extracurricular activities, because I think that we're getting all like usually the internships and the interns that I was getting, it's like they're all college kids, so they're not gonna have much experience. So you can't really look at that. It's really about what other things like outside of what you, because everybody wants to do business, everybody wants to do communications, everybody wants to be on the radio, everybody wants to be famous or viral. But it's like, what are you doing outside of your studies? Yes, I look at grades, number one, but also what are you doing outside of your studies to be an all around person? Because I do think that well-rounded, because outside of what you want to do, people have passions that also push them to do things better. And it's all about balance. Like for me, I was a business major, but I also was the president of Black Theater Productions, which is, you kind of touched a little bit, and we'll talk about that in a little bit, I'm sure. I was the president of Black Theater Productions, so I was writing and producing all the plays on campus. I was also the vice president of my sorority, Alpha Kappa Alpha, so I was planning out all the programs and events and community service.
That alone is powerful.
Yeah.
That's gang.
Yeah. So I was playing all the programs on campus.
With my man GC, and I'm like,
yo,
two powerhouses. Y'all two together?
He's a Kappa. Yeah. No, for sure. And being a part of the first Black women's sorority is that's Kamala Harris. We over here talking about,
that's fire.
What life is now. But I just, for myself, I had to balance it all. Like I was in school, but I was planning, and it's like nothing could fall, you can't drop the cracks, nothing could fall through the cracks, right? I had to make sure that my studies were good. I had to make sure that I was number one when it came to the productions on campus, because people would come and be like, this is whack. But no, I had the top productions on campus. I had the top programs and the lit events and the lit parties. And then I also randomly, my job on campus, I was teaching pre-K, which is so random, because I felt like the kids make me normal. It just brings everything down to their level, just mellows out. Nothing's so serious. They spill something on the floor, Miss Brittany. That was my fun thing to do. And it got me paid. But at the end of the day, for myself, I was hustling in so many different things, because, in jobs, people, and I think it goes back to what we talk about with brand partnerships. You have to be able to really serve all of your clients the same way and pay attention to them in the same, with the same respect and the same level of attention. So when I'm looking at an intern's resume, I want to make sure that you're well-rounded. You can hustle a lot of projects. You're not gonna be overwhelmed. You like to have fun. We don't want to have no boring people up in there. You can't just be I like nerds, but you can't just be up there. Okay, right now, what are we doing? Have fun. We in the music industry.
Have personality.
We can have some deuce at the table. We can have a good time. And that's how we are with our clients too. It's we want to have a good time. So it's really a great, well-rounded person. Is somebody that could, when they in the right rooms, they know how to carry themselves. Mm-hmm. They know how to be appropriate. They are very well mannered, but they also like to have fun. Let's boogie. So
let me ask you this, right, B? Is it solely only people that are in school?
So at the time that's how it is. They changed everything. That's laws now. They be you can't just they can sue you.
My whole thing is this, right? My whole thing is
I'm gonna get into that.
I was trying to be someone's intern, right?
Yeah.
And I was always with this, you got to be in school and this and all this and that. But not necessarily just because you went to school doesn't mean that you can't be for this industry.
Absolutely not.
You know what I'm saying? But it's it's shunned upon, they keep you an elbow.
It's a law now. Because I think people started suing. Because people were...
It had to be, because one time with me, I was at... I interned... My first internship was at Loud RCA.
Okay.
And Loud RCA back in the days was popping. They had Wu-Tang.
They had everybody.
Yeah.
Pun.
They had Pun.
Everybody.
Mobb Deep, Alcoholics, they had everybody.
Wow.
You know what I'm saying? And I was young. I was in high school at the time. And, I was shaking the building up.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? I was shaking the VPs. I was in meetings I didn't belong in. You hear these stories all the time. And, in this industry, when someone takes a liking to you, they're the person that put me on ended up moving to Elektra. And he was like, yo, Dren, you come with me. I'm out of here. We packing up next week.
Yeah.
Boom, boom, we out of here. So I'm like, all right, cool. So the head of the office, Marie Whitman, I'll never forget. And she had knew, but she was waiting for me to tell her. And it was like the hardest thing.
Yeah.
And she
like
goes,
loyalty.
Yeah, she goes, Dren, what's up? Everything's all right? Like, she's giving me the segue.
She's trying to
throwing you the alley-oop. She throwing you the alley-oop. Like,
she's giving me the segue. And she goes, and mind you, she never stays. I was in there, I was in there till 10, 11 o'clock at night. Like, I never wanted to go home. Because, you know, that back then, like, you wanted to be in the
atmosphere was crazy.
Yeah, and
the atmosphere.
You don't want to
every
miss
minute
nothing.
there's something happening.
You don't want to miss
so
nothing.
You go home there like, you know what you missed?
Yeah,
You be sleeping on the couch like, nigga, I ain't going
this
nowhere.
is the vinyl era. Vinyl CDs were like, DJs were like Clue, and like they had to come see me in person.
Yeah.
There was no MP3s, email me the record. No,
No,
you had to
you
service
coming up
them.
there. Yeah, it's fun.
You know what I'm saying? So, you know, long story short, it was my last day, and she was hanging around for me to tell her, and I didn't know how to tell her. And she goes, I'm going to help you out. I know today's your last day. And I'm like, damn.
Yeah.
And I said, listen, thank you for the opportunity. Like, I learned a lot. This was the dope. I'm never forgetting it. You know, she goes, I'm going to write you a recommendation letter.
Oh, that's nice. See?
So, to this day, I still have it.
Yeah.
Like, I still have it. I think it's dated like 94, 92, something like that.
Wow.
But to get to your point,
Yeah.
check this out. Reality check, bro. I go to Electra. They parked me. Because I look mad young. So, you know, they asked, you know, my guy that he passed away, his name was Chris Pringle. You know, I was his intern, and he was like, yo, my bad, bro, you got to be in college. And I was like, wow.
No way. Y'all couldn't tell me that before I walked up here?
Yeah, I couldn't do the internship, and my ego wouldn't allow me to go back to Loud.
Yeah.
I could have went back.
No, yeah.
Easily.
I could have went back, but I'm like,
easily.
damn.
But after that, yeah.
I didn't know how to tell her. She still showed me love. She wrote me a letter. I could have went back.
Yeah.
But sometimes things happen for a reason. That's what makes you elevate.
Yeah, of course.
You know what I'm saying? When people get fired and all these type of things that happen in the industry, it's for a reason, bro.
Absolutely.
You know what I'm saying? One door closes, another one opens.
it.
Absolutely.
You know what I'm saying? So when you say like you got to be in college, that's real
Yo, that's
rap.
it's a whole thing.
It's real rap.
That's
It's
like,
a whole thing.
I
Like you
felt
gotta
that.
be, because you know what it is. I think so. The colleges, it's like pay, because I think there was a lot of people they felt like they should have been paid for like their services. So the college, you get credits. Like you get credits towards your degree, so they consider that your pay. So that's why they say that.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, I still think that's whack, but that's just my opinion.
So
You know what I mean?
my question to you is that you have like a dream job.
Yeah.
Because you worked for HOTS, which is the biggest radio station in the world.
Yeah.
And then you transitioned from Hot to Power.
Yeah, that's where I am now. Shout out to Power.
Which is another monster.
Both of them is my family though. It's so crazy. Like,
but it's like hitting the lottery as a little kid. Like you said, you were the cool girl because, you know, your father was this mogul.
Yeah.
And then you're the cool girl working at Hot 97. They do Summer Jam. You're at Power 105. They do Powerhouse.
Yeah.
All of these big activations that everybody hears about, you're a part of that.
Yeah.
And everybody wants to get this job.
yeah.
Everybody wants
You really
to be
gonna call me out like that?
in the building. So how do you, I mean, I know you a long time, so this is not even weird.
Yeah.
But a lot of people want to be an on-air personality. They want to be in front of this mic speaking to the masses. You stood in your lane.
Yeah.
And you deal with accounts.
Yeah.
And you do brand partnerships. Did you struggle with that? Like versus being an on-air personality and doing your role?
So the funny thing, when I started my internship, I thought I wanted to be on air.
Okay, see?
I think that's like every kid's dream. I want to be on the radio, right? But once I learned about what the backside of like radio, of like brand partnerships and working with clients and coming up with ideas, like I'm very creative. And so for some reason, I never looked at it like I need to be on air because I want to be seen. I kind of felt like if I was going to be on air, it was only because I wanted to create something or I wanted to tell stories and things like that. And so for me, that part of me was probably what I fed in theater and creating, like that being like my spotlight.
Got you.
Where I didn't necessarily need a microphone to do for me. And I think that on the back end of working in like brand partnerships, it also allowed me to work with great people and meet a lot of people and build relationships and make some money, and like make some money.
You want to be paid, not
saying.
Listen, you want to be
it's your
paid, not
vision,
saying.
right?
You know?
It's your vision, right?
Yeah, and
that's what I see you as, a visionary.
Thank you.
Understand
Thank
what I'm
you.
saying?
And I think it might be hereditary because my dad was.
I was thinking the same thing.
My dad was in behind the scenes too. It wasn't like we didn't need to be seen to get things done, you know. And we're not. And I'm always serving other people and helping other people. So even in everything that I do, there's somebody who's seen, right? If I'm doing some sort of influencer program, somebody's the face of it. I don't necessarily need to be the face of it. And I think that there comes opportunities for me to feed that if I ever need it, i.e. some podcasts and even being here, of course. But I don't think that my journey or what I'm supposed to do full time is something that's like full time on air. I think that I've been able to curate and really create some really great strategies to help brands to grow and to help people, right? Because I'm still helping people in the sense that, oh, wow, like how do I know that this is the brand for me? And how do I know this is what I should be purchasing and things like that? Like I like helping people, influencing people to make decisions. So it's like an influencer in that, right? Like I might not have to be an influencer to the face, but I'm influencing. You might not know it, but I'm influencing you every day of your life through radio, through podcasts, through events.
Ultimately, you're pushing the needle for the culture.
Yeah, thank you.
Doing more behind.
Yeah.
Not to say that you wouldn't be able to do it in front of it.
Yeah.
Especially, I'm gonna touch on something that's serious in this game, and it's not a secret. This is a male-dominated industry.
Absolutely.
So how does it feel being in this industry, knowing that you're a female and you're powerful at what you do? Like, is there challenges? Sometimes do you run into them walls with?
Yeah, I feel like definitely in the beginning.
Dumb it down or anything like that?
No, nobody dumbing me down.
Nah, because you know some dudes, they feel your energy and they get intimidated by it. You know what I'm saying? That's what I mean, dumb it down. Not like be like, you know what I'm saying?
Not you, of course. I know you wasn't saying it like that, but I mean, they would have never dumbed me down. But I think that, of course, being a male-dominated industry, like first of all, working in a male-dominated industry, working in hip-hop, like before anything, I'm a pretty girl, so they don't really know what I have to offer. So I used to just like wear like weird clothes to work, like bigger clothes and things like that. So it's like, you know who I am, like, and just come with professionalism, because like, you know, working with rappers and their entourages and everything, they like, oh, who this? Like, you know? Yeah. So
right away they want to start the group.
Absolutely. It's like, nah, I don't got time for that. Time to check. Like,
exactly.
You know? So, and fortunately for me, there was a lot of women pioneers like that were mentors to me, like Corin or Cynthia Jenkins. She was a big wig. She was a director of sales at Hot 97, at BET, at Essence. Now she works at a big advertising agency. So she was like, and these are all like baddies, like beautiful women, AKA Deltas, Gwinnett Charles. She was another big wig at Hot 97. And they just walked in like they was the boss. Like, I don't have time to, let's get past the fluff.
Exactly.
You know, like, what are we doing? Where's the work? Let's get the work done.
So
it's like I never looked at it like a male-dominated industry where I felt like I couldn't do it, because I seen women before me doing it and really getting these deals signed. And then outside of just being a pretty face and getting the deal signed, like, where's the work? Like, when it's time to provide a recap, did I get you everything that I promised you? Did I deliver results? Did I over-deliver? Even with some of my partnerships and brands that I have, I'm like, oh, I know that you paid for this, but I also threw this in. Like, I mean, working with Duce, they know, like, I'm always finding ways and things for the brand to just grow and just cause, why not? Like, you know? And so I think that, like, it could be difficult probably for women, but you just have to look at it like, when you walk into every room, you're a person at the end of the day.
Has there ever been a moment where you've been overlooked because you was a female that you can remember? I'm sure it's happened.
I think
before.
I'm sure. Like, I think that before female, it was like ageism for me. Like, before female, like when I told you I wanted to move up, and it was just like, you're too young. It's like, it was like a lot of that first. Like, you're too young, or you know what I mean? And it's like, that was the most difficult part for me, is trying to get over the fact. And I have like a baby face, and sometimes I have a baby voice, and like people are like, how old are you? Like, I'm like, can you sign the check? Like,
no, we're not here for that.
Like, you know what I mean? So I think it was more of like an ageism thing. But as far as being a female, like, I do feel like sometimes, for sure, like, I would have to bring like my male managers on for people to really buy into the idea, or to really, you know, when I've been on some strange calls with some clients. It's like a mail will come on and it's like they don't even want to listen. Like I'm like, I had a client on one time a couple of years ago, and like everything sounded great in the email, and then once I got on the call, it was like he wasn't interested in anything only because of what I look like. And I don't even know if it was a female or because I was black, but it was just like,
that's crazy.
I never go eat there ever again, but it was just weird.
Yeah, that's crazy.
And my boss came on. He was like, that was the weirdest. He even said it. That was the weirdest meeting I've ever had before. And I was just like, well,
these are the things that need to be spoken about because nobody sees this part of the industry.
No.
They just see the activations, the fun
Yeah,
of games.
the fun.
They see the Duce flowing.
result.
They
They
see
see
all of that, but they don't
see the
know
end result.
the meetings and the emails and the 20 Zooms, what it took to make that happen.
Oh, and that's the thing too. It's like it could take years. You know, like some of the biggest deals that I've closed is about building relationships first. Like, because before anything, people are buying you before they know the product that they're buying, and if they don't trust you, then they're not going to buy it. And I think that there's also a major level of responsibility when you are taking somebody's money outside of the money. It's the person's position that gave you the money. That's their job. And someone's expecting them to come back with numbers and come back with data that's proven that it's working. And I think sometimes people think it's fun and games and stuff, but does it work? Are people going to buy the product? Are people using it? Are people watching it? Like people listening to the album? Like it's so many different things that I promote and I work with. And honestly, I always tell people I'm a sleazy salesperson. I don't have time for that. Like, is it going to work? Sometimes I don't even take people's money if I don't think it's going to work. They're like, oh, no, we want to. No, it doesn't make sense.
It doesn't fit. Yeah.
You know, and I'm like, and then they come, they're so appreciative.
Oh, yeah, ain't nobody doing that.
Yeah. And it's certain things that don't fit for power that might fit for hot. It's certain things that don't fit for power that might fit for somebody else. Like, and we're all cool in this industry. I think that's another thing that people will be thinking that like everybody's cool. I'm telling you, like
it's a small industry.
It's a small industry. People be thinking that like even at the top,
it's a community base.
Starting with the shareholder, like everybody's like it's like you think that no, it's a very small industry. We all used to work for each other. You see how she wrote that letter of recommendation is like that's a relationship we'll always have no matter what company you're at, and that's for me too. Like some of my mentors are still at WBLS, still at Hot 97, and we all be in hip together. We all hang like you. It's like it's a joke. Like
and everybody thinks y'all beefing, y'all with the competitor.
Yeah, it's like
how
what?
you do this, how you do that.
Yeah,
like, you know, but you know, it's part of growth.
Yeah, I
like,
think even at Mrs. C's funeral, Ebro has said like it's Ebro, Angie, everybody's on stage together. It's literally Power 105, Hot 97, and then I think the block was up there. Like everybody was all worked together. Yeah. Everybody's had been at Hot 97 at one point together in BLS. Sure. And it's like we still a family regardless. Like
that was like the parent company. Everybody grew. The branches
everyone saw
grew.
it, and then they all saw it. Yeah, like, but it's like we all grew up together. We all was family. We all know each other's families. Yes. We all know the kids. We done been to Sweet 16s and baby showers and all of that. It's hard for you. Like we're people at the end of the day, and at the end of the day, I support other people, and I'm not a sleazy salesperson where I'm even trying to attack other people's business and all that. I don't work like that. It's whatever's meant for me is gonna be for me. Like I'm always looking outside for where's the new money. I don't need to look at what everybody else is doing. I'm like, oh, how do I get that? For what? It's no. Like there's a plate of food to eat on, and everybody can
take this
eat.
section, I take that section.
Yeah, and I can help you if you ask me. That's really what it is.
And a lot of people don't want to do that.
No.
You know what I'm saying? They find something wrong with that.
Yeah.
And that's a very telling statement. Like when you just, and you're that type of person. So like, you don't, you know, some people like, I get it a lot. Yo, Dren, every time I see you look serious, you're hard to approach. Bro, I'm working.
Yeah, absolutely.
I'm on work mode. So if you catch me on work mode, I don't want to hear what you got going on. And right, there's a time and place for that.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So like, you know, what you said is like, look, ask for help.
Yeah.
People don't want to ask for help.
Yeah, that's the scary
and
part.
It's just that.
And they think it's like you gotta just put your pride aside. Like everybody needs help, first of all. Like I always ask for help. Especially today I asked so many people for help. I asked one of my old interns for help today.
Yeah, see?
Listen,
I'm like, girl, I was like,
I'm gonna tell you right now, I'm only here because my brother gave me the alley-oop.
But we all listen. We all look out. We all work together. We all we're here now. You know what I'm saying? Like I felt the story that you shared about your pops and Marley Marl. Like Marley Marl's my brother. Like you said. He had an FCC license. Me and him was on the radio together. I didn't have one.
Yeah. And
I'm like, yo, bro, are you crazy? Yeah. You syndicate around the world. You're a legend.
Yeah.
He was like, yo, Dren, I'll buy the transmitter off you. I said, bro, but it's the little things.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying? I'm
thing.
like, bro, you're in your house upstate New York and you're on 20, 30 radio stations at the press of a button, bro. Yeah. You want my little Mickey Mouse transmitter that I was illegally broadcasting here on Sundays.
Yeah, a hanger with some foil on
Yeah.
top.
But listen, I wound up on the news and all that. He loved it. He was like, yo, you doing some ill shit for the culture that I dream of doing. I'm like, I dream of doing what you do, bro. You broadcasting in Japan from your crib, bro.
Yo. Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like this radio thing, like he was a legend with your pops, legend. So for me to even be broadcasting with him was like a time of my life where I would never forget.
Wow.
Like I got voicemails like on the crib. Yo, Dren, pick up the phone. I know you home. It's Marley. It's like people don't got those type of messages.
No.
Like I'm like Marley Mar's calling me because he wants to go on the radio.
Yeah. It's crazy.
Because he like the hood illegal shit.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I'm like, bro, I wish I had an FCC license, bro. Yeah. That's the ultimate license. Like,
yeah. And it's just like the way that people's trajectory of their life goes. Like,
so,
but it's like, but that's why I'm a God's girl before anything. And I'm like, God put people together for a reason. Like, you know, every single thing that we do and the people that we meet is for a reason.
Absolutely.
And
it happens all the time.
Yeah,
it's
like,
nothing a coincidence.
Nothing. And like the relationships that I have built and created and people who have helped me, I'm so grateful for them. I couldn't have gotten where I was. Like, even my dad wasn't enough. You know what I mean? Like, I had people that really like fought for me and helped me throughout the industry. And like how you had that conversation, like it was tough leaving Hot 97. It was tough leaving WBLS. That was my family, but it's like I had to move on. And the right people were so happy for me. Like, anything you need, no, we got you. Like,
so how did that go? How did that go?
It was tough.
You put your 2 weeks in. How did that go? Like, who did you tell? Like,
I had to send an email. Well, it was so. Hot 97 is no longer it's no longer owned by Emmis. It's owned by a new company.
I know, yeah.
So like when they were changing management and like it just was not the same.
So things was shaky already.
It was getting shaky.
Yeah.
It was getting very shaky. It was getting very shaky. And after COVID, it just wasn't the same company anymore. And they had to lay off like all these people. So it was like 75% less of the employees that I used to work with there. It just wasn't the same. It just and it was, you know, after COVID, they weren't able to pay us the same way. It just was not what it was.
Yeah,
you know,
crazy
like
budget cuts is happening.
Yeah, like
it's the industry, it happens. Yeah,
your girl don't work for free, so I was like, what's going on here?
And then you're working for the biggest, so sometimes it don't make sense.
Yes, it just doesn't, because it's just gonna take too much work to get back what I used to make. You know what I mean? I can't work like that. I can't survive. So, iHeart was trying to get me for years and years. Like they probably like for like 4 years. They were sending them emails. They was in them LinkedIn private messages. Like
Angie set the tone. Though. Like when she did that,
right.
Everybody said, "Right, floodgates is open."
I was like, hold the door.
Yeah.
Nah.
Listen, I you know, not to cut you off, but you know, I read her book.
Yeah.
And when I read her book, like the politics that she discussed in that book, I was like, woof.
Yeah, it's tough. It's tough. And then it's like, it's politics, and then it's also like you be feeling this guilt because, you know, it's your family. It's the loyalty thing. It's like, this is my family. And then it's like the total opposite. It's like, you know, it's just crazy.
And then you go into the ops.
Yeah, I'm like, yeah, for real. I'm like, where am I going?
Yeah.
And it's like, even Angie did it, but I still was like, dang, like, this feels a little weird. I don't know.
And then she could do it because she the big homie. So it's like,
exactly.
You know, you behind the scenes, but you're doing your numbers though.
Yeah, of course. I'm putting them. I was the number one seller for Summer Jam.
See, that's what
I was
I'm
the
saying.
number one seller. I put in more money. Like literally, my last Summer Jam that I sold. This is on record. Like I outsold my entire sales team combined.
Oof. See what I'm saying?
Combined. Like I'm putting them into.
You did your numbers on the back end in that lane. Like nobody was, and that's what pays the bills.
Yeah, absolutely.
That's what keeps the station going, and a lot of people don't know that.
And it's like I gave y'all that. Like you know what I mean? Like after I'm number one seller, what can I be? You know, like it was.
You ready?
I paid y'all. I gave you your money back. Like you know what I mean?
The ceiling.
You kept the lights on over there.
Yeah. So for real, and that's what it was like. So I almost felt like once it was time for me to leave, that it was tough, but I felt good about it. I felt like it was the next step. I felt like it was the right move. I was very nervous. What was it like? I was very nervous when I had to send that email. Oh my goodness. But I felt like it was time to go. Like I felt like I was like, it was definitely time to go. I feel like my manager came to me. She was like,
COVID probably made it a little bit easier because of the situation.
Nah. Like, oh man, because I had to let some people down. Like, like they was like, if you leave, what you mean?
We gonna do?
Like,
we got to make this money we just lost.
And I feel like my boss had sent me she had said something like, you know, let me know if you still want to work here by Friday. She had said something like that, and I was like,
she was putting the pressure. Okay,
yeah, because I
just
started feeling like I just didn't want to be there no more. Like it was sad.
Listen,
And that Friday, I let her know.
I could say this because I wasn't in that building, but it kind of felt like a funeral home.
Yeah.
Like you see bodies dropping, like you said, a lot of people got laid off.
It's not the same.
It's not the same energy.
Yeah.
You're not motivated to work like you do. And like you said, you hit the peak. So now it's time to elevate.
And we had such great times. I loved it there. I made a lot of friends. I made a lot of family. We did some dope campaigns. Like Summer Jam was like unbelievable. 50,000, 55,000 people. Like I did some really cool campaigns. I did a lot there. So
and that's also why, I tell a lot of people, like, you can't burn bridges.
No.
You know what I'm saying? At that time, like, Hot 97 was the biggest. Like, everybody wanted to work for Hot. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? And it's like, you did that, you did your thing, and it's like, it's time to move on.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And you held the crown over there.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying? And now it's time to bring your talents to
South Beach. Nah.
You know what I'm saying?
So yeah.
No. So what I was gonna say was that you can't burn relationships.
No.
Because this whole industry is very small.
Yeah.
It's a tight industry and it's all relationships. So when you don't burn relationships, you don't burn bridges, it's an easier transition. Because imagine if you was, a Hot and you thought, it was that person like and then
humble,
and then exactly when it hits the fan, it's like, oh yeah, you thought you was
right,
you was what Hot, they was on top of the world,
and look
and now look what's up, So that's why it's always good to keep those relationships.
I'm telling you, to this day, like me and a lot of the salespeople over there, we help each other out all the time. Hey, because the clients, we just want what's best for our clients. We have some clients that come to us and say, hey, we'll do this with you, but we're also, is there any other stations in the market? And it's like, we're honest, like, oh yeah, you can go to 107, here's a rep. Or they'll say,
so let's dumb it down for a little bit. So we spoke about internships, we got a younger viewer. What's a client? You keep mentioning clients.
Oh, so a client is a brand, like a Duce or
NFL,
DreamWorks, Hulu, HBO
AT&T.
Max,
okay.
McDonald's. So a client is any brand that's advertising.
So but all those brands, you mentioned like $1 million brands, all of them are like up there.
Yeah.
So do you struggle with them? Are they bougie because they know they got that bag?
Nah, you know what's so funny is like the title. It's just a title, right? Like I never get nervous when I'm on a call. I just come to them and I'm like, hey, I have a solution for you. Like I have something that I can offer you. At iHeart, now that I'm here, I can do, national campaigns. So I'm doing podcasting nationally. So we have Club Shay Shay, we have Drink Champs, we have so many different brands that we're able to sell our clients into within events. I don't just sell Powerhouse and things within the Power 105 space. I can sell things on Q104, which is a classic rock station. I could sell things for iHeart, which they have the iHeart Music Awards. I could sell country festivals.
So you're not limited just to Power. No. Like you have the whole portfolio.
Oh yeah, I can sell Jingle Ball if I want to tomorrow.
That's fire.
Yeah, I can sell anything.
See what happens when you level up?
Yeah. I can sell all their influencers. We have Draymond Green. I can sell sports. We just got the Jets, so I can sell the Jets sponsorships. Fire. I can sell sweets I could sell anything. So it's like now that and it's all timing too.
Yeah, absolutely.
So it's like now that I'm in this position, it's like I started to accumulate bigger brands who needed national opportunities. And even with some clients and brands that I work with, the things that they needed was bigger. And I couldn't even give them that when I was over there.
Yeah, because you were the monster.
Yeah, it's like I couldn't
the world.
Yeah, so it's like
everything comes through
even
them.
with Duce, one of my top clients, love y'all. Like the things that there were things I couldn't even offer them when I was over there. I could do things with them there, but there wasn't even things on a whole nother level that I could provide them with bigger partnerships and bigger ideas. To lock in.
We felt it when you left. I mean, we'll keep that between me and you.
Yeah. But literally, but that's really how it is. Like with a lot of my clients, I was able to offer them more. I can offer them more national things. I work with a lot of the top promoters for music. So any big label or big concert that's coming into town, I can now offer them advertising and not just the New York market. I can sell them in Los Angeles.
That's huge.
Florida, anywhere, Chicago,
Listen,
Detroit.
We traveled a lot. Like before it was iHeart, it was Clear Channel.
Yeah.
And any taxi cab, any billboard, anything that has to do with advertising, is iHeart.
Yeah.
And like y'all like the gang of this advertising space.
They're so, and they're so innovative. It's always so, and what I love about it, it's like they're always thinking bigger. Like, you know what I mean? When it came to AI and like what people use Chat GPT for and all of that, iHeart just created their own, so you don't even have to go out to find. Like they're like Bob Pittman is always thinking ahead. He's like, how can I innovate? They're always in other markets. They're always curating. Like they got the Black Effect Podcast Network with Charlemagne. There's like we got the #1 morning. Like it's just so much.
Word. It's nothing that you can't get in iHeart.
No, and even
whatever genre you want,
and even internationally. So this year I went to Cannes. They have the Cannes Lions Festival, which is the biggest marketing festival in France in June. It's a whole week festival, and that's like where the money is. Like if you get up and go to France,
if you
get up and go to France, the bag is there. This is not. I get here and it's like, oh, I'm gonna send you an email of the person you need to contact. Like, no, this is the CEO of this brand. This is the marketing director of this brand. And there's every top brand you can think of is there. Every media company is there. So iHeart is there. Spotify's there, Yahoo's there, Meta's there, TikTok's there. All their top content creators are there. They have something called Inkwell Beach, which is like more of like a, it's almost like a section that is curated for like African American brands and different genres of television and sports and all types of things. Carmelo Anthony, he has his own wine coming out. And so he curated the first wine festival there. And he had Shannon Sharp there with his it's cognac, but he had his whole thing going on out there. And they had the Seventh Estate, which is his wine brand, and all these different, but it's curating, it's creating. It was something that Black people and, you know, multicultural people really couldn't be out there to do. You know, it wasn't a space for us. And now we're making our way out there. They're bringing Tyla, Shabuzi, like all the new up and coming acts that people want to see. But it's a week-long festival, and I was there, and I'm like, okay, let's see how we could take this, you know, next level.
We the culture at the end of the day.
Trying.
So you gotta come through us.
Trying.
Now you're doing it. You're not trying nothing. You're doing it.
You know, listen, about that.
And even with that, it's like, honestly, it's like a lot of the friends that I've made, because I probably wouldn't have went there on my own. I'm like, friends, I ain't going out there. I don't know nobody out there. Yeah, and a lot of my friends in the industry.
There, you know, everybody, it's all industry.
Right, we all was there.
Out there.
I'm like, what in the world?
That's how it is. Like, you know, years ago, they used to have like the How Can I Be Down conventions and all of that. Like, it was just jacked up. Yeah, you know what I'm saying? Like, all of these conventions where like everybody in the industry just flies out to another island and just does a takeover. But that's how you know who's who and who's real.
Right, like, who's going to take that pilgrimage.
Exactly. You
and the crazy thing is, right before I called my dad. I'm like, I'm going to France. And he's like, what are you going to France for? I got to go to Cannes. And they got the big festival. And he's like, you know, I met my business partner from my label in Cannes, France. I'm like, what?
Wow.
That's
like, wild. Look at that.
He's like, yeah, my business partner from my label, Coachillin. It was a white guy.
Hold that thought
Lenny.
real quick, B.
Crazy.
Because I was going to ask you this later, but now that you brought that up.
Yeah.
All these things that you have accomplished, right? And your dad is sitting on the sidelines.
Yeah.
What is those conversations like? Because it's almost a mirror of each other.
Scary.
You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So how is he like? Does he sit back and with a cigar and just be like,
yo, right?
My daughter go.
Look,
yo, for real. Yo.
Look at that.
For real.
I did that.
Yo, for real. Like, it's so crazy because I really be thinking like him. Like, I have a brother, and it's like, it's so weird. Like, the way my mom and my brother are so alike, and then the way me and my dad, like, I don't even have to speak to my dad, and they'll be like, yo, dad just said, like, I'll say something, and they'll be like, he just said that. Like, we think that it's so weird. It's
Daddy's little girl.
Daddy's little girl, for real. But the way he don't baby me at all. Like, he's like tough on me, but not like
overbearing.
Not overbearing. He just let me go. But it's like when he needs to reel it in, he'll be like, nah, don't do that. Like, I ask him about everything. Like, I'll be like, should I work with this person? What should I do about this? Or like, just like life lessons that he'll teach me. Nothing that's like hindering or nothing that I feel like he's not letting me. Because I still feel like.
That's dope. That's dope. You know why? Because a lot of people, like, in this industry, after, like, you know, the politics of it, they usually don't want you in it.
No.
You know what I'm saying? So the fact that you built your own again, you didn't even want people to know that he was your pops.
Yeah.
So you grinded out yourself.
Yeah.
And now, like, you have him as an anchor, like, your pops, like, this is what's going on.
Yeah, like, this is like
board right there.
Crazy. Like, and it's like the way, like I said, it's not hindering. It's not like, I feel like I trust him because I know he's, like, I know it's weird to say, like, your parents could be haters, but it's like, I know that you're not telling me not to do it because you just don't want me to. It's like, if I'm telling you, it's because I'm trying to protect you from something. So he's really, I know he's telling me that he was telling one of his friends in the industry, like, she's always traveling, she's always out, she's always this. I'm like, you a hater. Like, how you low-key talking about me on the phone? And he's like, the person was like, well, that's you, Ty. You was never home. You was always right. He's like, you know what?
Yeah.
You right.
Exactly.
The apple
like
don't
I
fall
said, y'all mirror of each other.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
So,
that shit got to be super dope as a father to see that.
For sure. Like, and then even for me to be in rooms with, like, a lot of his peers and the peers' children, like, all their kids in the industry that are all doing stuff. It's like we all working together. Like, even Roxanne Shantae's son Chucky, like, he works with his mom on Sirius Radio. Like, they're all, like, a lot of the kids were all doing stuff as well. So it's like even seeing that, like, being like that next generation of talent. Same thing with my brother. Like, he curates a lot of relationships. He worked with Mike Epps for years. He's that guy. I always tell people, like, you think I'm the cool one? Like, my brother's the cooler version of me. Like, he
be winning. He be winning.
He be in them rooms. Before I was outside, he was outside. Like, I was a church girl in my 20s, but he was always out. And so we've gotten to the point where we'll be in rooms and people try to introduce us. Like, yo, Prince, you got to meet Brittany. Da-da-da. Y'all both shakers in the industry.
That's crazy. And they brothers
and sisters. Same mother, same father.
Y'all probably over there like, hey, how you doing?
Yeah, like, we be like you usually take another person like, what? Like, that's his sister.
Yo, but aren't y'all twins?
We 1 year apart.
Okay.
13 months. Everybody thinks we twins, but we call each other twins. We 13 months, Irish twins.
Okay.
But he's 1 year older than me, big brother. Fire. But he's like very connected to the culture. I call him to be like, who's the new artist? Who's this? Who's that? Like, how you don't know this? How you don't, like, he's my ears to the culture. He put me on the coolest sneakers. Like, he's like that guy. Like, he knows everything in music. He's helped a lot of people in their careers as well. Like, he was at Hot 97 for years with me. He was there. He was doing, so that's the craziest thing. Like, I would sell the activations and he would activate them. Like, that's activation Prince, not the kid.
Yeah.
Like literally, even when I got my job, I was working at Essence too. And I was a brand activation manager, and I hired my brother because they was like, "Oh, who do you think would be good to work with our activations at Essence?"
Yeah.
And we in Essence Music Festival in
New Orleans,
working together. I was working there while I was working at Hot 97. I was always like doing working on
you gotta spread
a bunch
your
of things. But he was activating on all the top accounts that we was working on.
Fire.
Like we like.
This was in the family for real.
Yeah,
That's
crazy.
Talented
This
family.
is
Listen, man, we might need to have all of y'all on the
Yeah, no,
podcast.
he's definitely one of those people that like.
Nah, he won the space tournament at Angie's. I gave him a Duce bucket hat.
Yeah, he's the spades.
He got the bag and everything.
So he's definitely like the spades king. But low key, they don't know I'm the ping pong queen. And I'm gonna be in it this year. I don't know if they told you. He put me on.
Oh, that's a fact.
I'm gonna be right there.
Let me move my chair back. Let me move my chair back.
I'm gonna be right there. Like, y'all about to
talking
see
some
me.
shit right now.
Yeah, I'm gonna be
my brother just finished winning one on Friday, so
I'm gonna be in the ping pong tournament. They didn't put my card out yet, but I sent extra information.
Friday.
Yeah, sponsored by the family.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Yo, but hold on, be real quick, right? Because we spent a good time about this, you know what I'm saying? And it's beautiful. But I always like when people have, like, to pivot. Like, this is your main thing, but this might be your baby.
Oh, of course.
You see what I'm saying? So I want to talk about your baby right now.
Yeah, let's do it.
You know what I'm saying? So when did you start your production company and things of that nature? And why a person so successful like you felt the need to be able to say, yo, you know what? Even though I got this is my passion. This is what I want to pour into.
Yeah, so it all started from college. Like, it was so random. Like, you know how your talents and your gifts just fall upon you? So literally, it all started on a day of Love and Hip Hop. Like, I went to my friend's room and we used to binge watch Love and Hip Hop, and they were like, oh, we can't watch it tonight. We got to go. We're trying out for a play on campus for Annie. It was like a black play on campus. And I was like, what? And I was like, but we got to watch, we binging tonight. And they're like, no, we got to go try out for this play. So I went with them to the audition, and we standing on the line. And I'm like, dang, like, all right, we'll just hang out while we on the line. And then they're handing people, like, the scripts up and down the line. And they were like, oh, are you trying out? And I'm like, no, like they are, my friends are. And they're like, oh, just try out. So it was Annie and the Wizard of Oz. And I tried out because I was bored and I just didn't want my friends to leave me that day. And I ended up getting the role of Dorothy of the Wizard of Oz, which is like the main character of the Wizard of Oz, which was crazy because I'm literally not there for it. And what I learned about Black Theater Productions is that they were actually writing the plays from scratch. Like they were writing it, and so it was like Annie and Wizard of Oz. So they had wrote a play where it like merged both of the movies together. And so I acted in the play, and I was always looking behind the scenes like, but who's producing this and who's doing that? And like, you know, like I couldn't.
Your brain working.
Yeah, it's just weird. Like I'm on stage, but I'm looking like, okay, this person this, and y'all wrote this, and how did you write this? And they're writing original songs and everything. So then the next year when they were asking for like the new president, vice president, and all that on the team, first of all, I can't be. I gotta be in charge. Like I know it's crazy, but that's like innate in me. I'm like, if I can't be president, I want to be vice president. How do I do that? Sign me up. And I ended up being vice president my sophomore year. Oh, yeah. And so I started writing plays for Black Theater Productions. And then my junior year, I was president. My senior year, I was president. So I started writing all the plays from scratch on campus. And then I would have to recruit the talent and the cast members for the actual plays that we were doing. So I was casting, I was writing, I was hiring like who the next generation of writers would be, or producers, music producers, dancers, all of that. So it was acting, singing, and dancing. And then right after we finished that up, like I graduated, and it was so weird because it was like, what do I do now? Like I'm out in the real world. I'm working this job that everybody thinks is the coolest job in America, but I still felt like there was a void missing.
So empty.
Like September would come and it's like, oh, when's the meeting to start writing again? When's the casting? That wasn't happening. And so I got together all my favorite people that I worked with in college to say, okay, I want to start Brittany Rae Productions. Like I want to start a production company where we're writing plays and, producing content and all of that. Once again, I want to do it on my own. Where's the money to do this? So what some seen as the dream job working in WBLS, that's what I used to save my money because I wanted to do my own play. So I would save my money working at BLS to produce a show, which is where Alvin Ailey came from, because I wanted to rent the theater. I wanted to pay the actors. I wanted to, it costs a lot of money to produce your own show. So that's really what it was, like my day job, paying for the dream job, but a day job that's super cool, that I'm meeting celebrities and I'm working with talent, that I'm curating these sponsorships and all that.
It must be a mindfuck when you secure the bag for the company you work for, but then you still want to do your own production.
Yeah, crazy. And it was like, I ain't going front, like even everybody at BLS and Hot 97 supported me too. They came out to my play, they're like, yo, you did this? They were like, when I go home, I watch Netflix. You go home and do this. Like they couldn't even believe it. And they all came to see. When I tell you, like, the CEO of Hot and BLS came, the market presidents, the marketing directors, the program directors, they all came and supported me. Like, yo, you really did this? I sold it out for 2 nights. Like, that was, like, unheard of. Like, it was crazy.
And you did it without stealing their budget.
No, you know and I did it without stealing it. I earned my budget. Right. I did it without an album.
Talk about that.
Exactly.
And then even in that, like, you know how we talked about like interns and stuff? Like I was discovering talent on the campus. Like even some of the talent that I discovered, like one of the actors, like Nick Cregan, like he used to live next door to me. And I like went and I knocked on his door and I was like, Nick, like I'm doing this play. I need you to be in the play. He's like, I don't act. But he was a sportscaster on the campus that would interview like Shaq or like Magic Johnson, whoever would come to the school. So I knew he didn't have a fear of like celebrities and big crowds. And he just had to look like, you look like an actor. I'm like, I need you in my play. Cause I need to, if it's going to be, and that's the one thing, like you understand that too. Like if it ain't lit, don't call me. Like that's my main thing.
Sure.
Like,
hell yeah.
My name is on it. It gotta be lit, like for sure. Like that's the culture behind everything. Like, nah, if it's not lit, don't call me.
Of course.
And if I'm the president, it cannot be whack. So I ended up getting this kid, Nick Cregan, and he's like, I don't know how to act. I'm like, we'll teach you how to act, whatever. So he ended up signing up to do this play, and then the next year we got him to do it again. And then when he graduated, he got a job at like CBS or something, and he was like a big sportscaster. Wow. And you know, he's doing his dream in sports and everything. And I sat him down. I told him to meet me in Harlem one day. And I'm like, Nick, you need to be acting. And he's like, I know, blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, and some might say you made it. Some might say you top of the world. You got all the big, like this is, but it's like I knew his gift. And then he ended up going back and doing acting. He got casted by like Oprah, Michael B. Jordan.
And you put him on.
He was on Law and Order.
He didn't want to do it.
He was the Joker on CW. Like, he was the first black Joker. He on a CW 11 show. Like, he's on so much stuff now, movies, TV shows, like everything. Like, they're casting him in, and it's like, and he always shows me my credit. Like, he always say, started. Like,
he has to, because you gave him that push, and now look, he's activated.
And I always say, yo, for real. And I'm like, and I always say, like, if God used me.
You didn't want to do this, bro.
He did it. He did it.
Stick your chest out on him.
He really did it. But he's such a great actor. I'm like, nah, bro. He got like the look that I know the girls will be like, oh, he got the light eyes. I'm like, Nick, you need to be acting. So even in my my writing and my directing, I was still finding and discovering talent along the way that had gifts in that. So, you know, once I did my play in 2019, then COVID had hit. And so it was difficult because it's like, now I can no longer do plays anymore. Like, you know, we just opened up, right? Like, where you could trust to be like, okay, I can rent a theater and do this again, and people will put the money up, or I could, you know, do more plays. But in the meantime, what I did is like, okay, we can't do another play because obviously the world shut down. But we started writing scripted television.
Okay.
So writing different television series and drama and comedy and film. So that's what I've been working on with my team. And then also working with TJ Adams, who is an actor and music artist. He played ODB on Wu-Tang and American Saga. And he's working on an animated series that's going to be so fire.
That's gonna blow.
Yeah. And I'm executive producing it. Yeah, oh my God. And I'm telling you, like, it's like the next generation of Boondocks meets Marvel. Like, he's fired. Yeah. So, like, I think that, you know, even in the wait, because it could get frustrating and you're feeling like, because I thought, as soon as I did that play, I'm like, oh, I made it. Like, psh, I sold out 2 nights at Alvin Ailey. People know me. I'm this. I had a billboard in Times Square. Like, things were just happening. It was so crazy. And then COVID hit. Literally, like, when it was time for me to put the payment down to do my next year, it's like COVID just.
You know what's crazy about COVID? Like feeding of what you said, like COVID stopped a lot of things, but also created monsters.
Absolutely.
A different lane to create.
Like, look at D Nice.
Yeah. Oh my gosh.
Like,
crazy.
Yo, wild.
And
everybody was at home.
Yep.
He put live on his camera, and he got 1 million followers overnight.
And D Nice is like, he was that guy in the industry, but he wasn't.
Forever,
nobody knew him in the world.
Exactly.
Like, you know, he was nobody.
Yeah, we all knew him.
Everybody knew him, but like
now Ellen knows who he is.
Yeah,
like, you know what I'm saying?
Like, and the people, like, they literally didn't know. Like,
shit, the NFL had him to do events for them.
Crazy. He did Obama's inauguration.
Yeah.
Like, he was like that guy.
See, that was COVID.
Crazy.
Like, without COVID, that would have never happened.
Yeah, no, but I'm saying he did it even before COVID, but nobody knew. Like, in the industry, they knew him, but and it's so funny you brought his name up, because today he just posted all his, all the awards and honorees and things. He said he finally took everything out the box and put it up, and he said he shed thug tears.
Yeah.
Today.
Because that's a big ass accomplishment.
Yeah.
He's been in the game since the 80s.
And
so
he's
to only get acknowledged at 2020, that's insane.
And my dad told me about D-Nice. He's like, yo, my boy's doing something on live. You should hop on. I'm like, what? Like, who?
Mm-hmm.
And talk about, like, supportive fathers. Like, so his daughter is my sorority sister, who I helped become an AKA. Wow. And now she's his entertainment lawyer.
Look at that.
She went to school.
Wow.
She was working for one of the top agencies out there, and then he ended up hiring her to be his entertainment lawyer. He he put her on, and she's that girl.
You know, in a minute they're gonna have a tree, a Brittany Rae tree.
I hope so.
And there's gonna be mad names on here. Like,
I hope so.
This person doing this person doing that. That's why I told you I needed to get you up here.
Yeah, thanks.
I already knew.
So what's next? Like you. It seems like you conquered everything, but you know,
it's so much more to go.
You're very young. You're very young.
Thank you. Yeah.
Still got another 30 to go.
You know,
at least.
You're a big executive in this game. You work for 2 of the biggest corporations in New York, around the world.
Yeah.
I mean, literally, like, iHeart is global.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So, like, what's next? What do you see?
Next? That's like me in the Hollywood lights. Yeah, I like it. Next is definitely, like, my television shows. Like, I know that there is a place for them in this world. Like, I look at, like, Kenta Brunson with, like,
we're gonna talk.
Abbott Elementary, and I mean, I used to look at Shonda Rhimes and Issa Rae. She's the other Rae, and I met Issa, like, several times, and she's so nice to me. Like, and like, she was always inspiring to me even before I met her. But when I met her, it's like you get that little nervous, like, not nervous to be around you, but nervous of how you're gonna take me, right? Like, you know, sometimes when you meet like these people you look up to,
please don't break my perception of who you are.
Right.
Please don't be the asshole.
Bruh. Because I had a couple of those in the industry.
Yeah,
where I'm like,
trust me.
We just spoke about, you know how we just said like nothing just happens.
Always is like that.
Before
with
she
us,
pulled
man.
up, what's the conversation?
Listen, this is what we always be.
Wild, bro.
We have a thing, right?
It's
a thing where,
crazy.
not to get too drawn out, but me and
Yeah.
him start talking about something, and God will come like that,
wow.
like it, and it'd be like minutes or seconds. It's not
Wow.
something that we'd be like next. Yo, you know what we was talking about the other day? Nah, it happens instantaneous.
Wow.
Before you pulled up, not to get really into it, but just like the way
But the universe works.
Yeah.
Like this opportunity just came, and like, yo, this is what boom. The numbers are just astronomically out of this world, out of dumb. And the fact that you just said what you said, and we already have this play rolling, and like you said, it's all timing.
Yeah.
So that
God
shit
is
was
good.
right in the pipeline. It was crazy.
Wow.
And again, your resume speaks for itself. It's not even we don't even got to sell it.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? It's like, your shit speaks for itself, man. Everybody
Yeah.
got Google. You know what I mean? It takes 2 seconds.
Yeah.
But like the way, it's just wild.
That's crazy.
Every show we do is just crazy.
Confirmation.
Brett,
Yeah.
telling you, Brett.
No, but that's how it was. Like, the way Issa Rae is just so nice to me. I'm like, why are you nice to me for? Like, and that just kind of confirms to me, like, I know I belong amongst them.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? I could look at them and say, like, to
That's my
myself, like,
peer.
I know
Yeah,
these are my
yeah,
peers. These
yeah.
are my one-day peers. I
Hell
met
yeah.
Kenta, when I met Kenta at Fashion Week last year, I didn't even I introduced myself to her for what I do in music and working alongside TJ. And I think she said to me, but what do you do? What do you do? Like, it was like a weird passage. Like, she knew deep down, and I was still like afraid to say it. I'm like, oh, you know, I'm like, and I like to this day, I kind of like,
it's weird. It's weird when you have to speak about yourself.
yeah.
So like, I get it. When you hear his monologue, you're like, you want him to jump in and be like, yo, this is what she does.
This is what she do. But it's almost
I'm
like
here
she
for
knew
that.
I was a
I'm here
writer.
for
I'm
that.
telling you, like a
Yeah.
weird connection. Like, I felt like, why did she know to ask me that question? Like, I'm here clearly working with an actor, and it was just weird. She was like, but what do you do? I feel like that was my time
was
to be
trying
like,
to
I'm
get
a
out of here.
writer. I could have been out of here. Like,
but that's-
LA, I'm coming.
That's God telling you that sometimes you gotta stick your chest out. You know what
Yeah,
I'm saying?
yeah.
You doing what you doing for others, and that's dope, helping their careers and stuff like that. But
Yeah.
you know that hobby. That's why I said let's pivot to that, because
Yeah.
it's dope that you do that.
Yeah.
But this is what you really want to do.
Yeah.
You understand what I'm
Yeah.
saying? So I think that executive hat, you just need to just move it to the side a
Yeah.
little bit. Put that boss production hat. Yo,
Yeah.
listen, this is what I do.
Yeah.
What we doing?
And it's the balance. Like, I've always like looked at like what I like to do and what I do as just like college. Like, I got all these different classes, and I have to still excel in everything that I do. So even when I was doing the play, that's like, it's so crazy. Like, when I was like thriving and doing my play and everything, like everything was top 2. I was the top seller at Summer Jam. I was like it's not like I ever let one thing drop. You understand? It's not like I can be really great at this and then this is nobody's ever gonna feel it.
And the crazy thing is, you was feeling more about this than you was about this.
Yeah, it's crazy, like crazy. But
And
it's
this
like,
is what they see, but they don't see this. And this is what
No.
you're more passionate about. Like,
they
yo,
think
look
I went
what I
home and went to
did.
sleep. I'm
Yeah.
all here.
Yeah.
We right on Clinton. We was right around the corner doing rehearsals and everything. Like, it was a lot of work. Like, we would have to do 3 to 4 rehearsals a week. And then like, yo, you really. Even my dad didn't know what I could do. I'm telling you, like, he didn't. I'm telling you, it was so funny because he's invited like all his friends in the industry, and he's like, okay, so you have everything set, right? Like, so who's gonna, like, he's asking me questions about my
he's
production. I'm like,
bugging. You
bro,
got the
like,
whole
this not
thing.
even your lane.
Yeah, you got everything on lock
Yeah,
already.
like, bro.
Just,
You know
just
what?
show up, my boy.
Just
show
sit
up.
down.
I'm gonna
That's
show
all
you
you
how
gotta
to
do.
do
I
it.
let
Just
him
show
do
up,
that. I
my
let him
boy.
read the playbill at the end and read the names. That was his job. Go
Read
at
the
the
bill,
end.
B. That's
read
all
the
we need.
bill. Call me out at the end. And,
Now you working for me, homie.
right. You my intern.
That's
Like,
nice.
That's dope.
Literally.
That's
So
dope.
it's like, you know, because I got it. Like, I know that that's something I'm confident in. I've always done production. I do production in churches. People don't even know that. Like, the church side of me, I've done production director. So when you come, like TJ Adams, he came to church with me one time. And I think he thought he was like, because I always be at church, I think he thought he could sit next to me. I'm like, oh no, I got to be in the booth. He's like, what booth? And then he sees me putting the headset on and this, and I'm running the
whole
actual production of the service. I'm
Wow, okay.
organizing like when the musicians are going on, what time the pastor's preaching, how much time. Like,
So you producing a whole church thing.
Absolutely.
That's fire.
That's like,
I might
that's
have to go to
first.
that church.
That's first.
That's fire.
That's
Word.
first. So
Shit.
like,
You got a whole production thing happening in the
it's
church?
like if I'm not serving.
But you've been doing that for a minute, right?
Yeah, I've been doing that
because
for years.
usually, see, that's why I said that, because usually a lot of people start from that and they grow because, that's in
they
you.
give, yeah.
That's in you.
Yeah.
So when you do that, that's you giving back. Like, this, you're getting your blessings back. Like, all of this, like, working for this one, this is where it started.
Yeah, like.
And this is where you get your talent from, and this is your whole skills, organization, and dealing with people. Like, and a lot of people don't know about that side of life.
Yeah, and I got to thank God for what he gave me.
Yeah, and you
like,
do, and you post it all the time. I said, I follow you. I said,
even the other day, I was at, we did the Fanatics Fest. We was at 40/40 every day, and we had so much fun. And on Sunday, I see Nancy and everybody, and they're like, "Oh, I was like, I'll be right back." They're like, "Where you going?" I was like, "I gotta go to church." They're like,
"That's real."
I was like, "They're like, you go right now?" I'm like, "Yeah, I'm praying for y'all, but I'll be right back." Like, I just gotta go down the block to Times Square and come back. Like,
God is good.
So
yeah,
is that the Times Square church?
That's where I attended that Sunday. Yeah.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah.
I was there years ago. Like,
yeah.
It's like a Broadway play over there.
Oh my God,
that
it's huge. It's huge.
Yeah,
it's like it is a theater.
Yeah, it is.
So yeah,
I went there one time, like when I was a kid, and I'm like, oh my God, like this is.
Yeah.
It was a different experience.
For sure.
Definitely.
I'm not producing there, but I was there attending that Sunday. Like,
but listen, you did what you had to do.
Of course, I was like, I gotta go.
Got those blessings.
Yeah, I pray for everybody too. It's not just about me. I'm like, yo, like don't worry. I'm like, I'm holding everybody
especially
down.
in this industry, we all need.
Oh my God, we all need it in any job.
That's a part of your tithing right there.
There's a lot going on. There's a lot going on.
It's a heavy time, and tomorrow's not promised for any of us. So we just want to make sure.
That's why we needed you here, so we can put this on cap.
Giving you your flowers.
Thank you.
People can put your name in YouTube. Your name is already cemented.
When my shows are on TV, I'm gonna cast y'all in something. Y'all
listen, I'm here.
For sure.
I'm with
sure.
the shits.
Do you do pods?
Podcast?
Yeah.
I've done some before, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
For
sure.
You're doing this like you did 1,000 of them.
Yeah, not 1,000, but maybe like 5.
That's it. This is how it starts.
But it's also the relationships. Like, I know I feel comfortable sitting here talking to you guys. Like,
we just having a conversation. You know what I'm saying? And we wanted to bring you up because you're in a position that a lot of people are trying to be in.
Yeah.
And they don't understand what it takes. Like, it's not, oh, I'm going to just put you on and you're going to be in it. Nah, like, you work hard for that.
Yeah,
you know
absolutely.
What I'm saying? You went to school. Mm-hmm. You said it yourself. You didn't ask your father for no favors.
No.
So.
That's your biggest flex to me.
Even in like my production, I asked him for $1. Like, I could have been like, oh, Dad, can you just pay for, like, but what's that?
Yeah,
I like to be able to say I did it myself. Like,
absolutely.
And I'm the youngest. I'm the baby girl. Everybody expects me to have like the hand-me-downs or like, oh, she spoiled, she did. So it's like, nah, like, and having 2 older brothers, it's like I always wanted to be like them, like, cause I couldn't play like I play with my Barbies and stuff, but they would be like whatever. Like if I want to be cool with them, like I gotta play video games. I gotta be tough. Like I can't cry. You're a crybaby. You can't hang out with us. Like so I always had that same grit. Like no, like I could be responsible. I could do my own thing. Like I want to be a leader. You know.
Your parents did their thing.
Thank you.
What do you feel is your biggest accomplishment so far? Your biggest.
I think that's a great question. I think my biggest accomplishment so far is being a good human to other people. Like just being there for other people. Like I wouldn't say my biggest accomplishment is anything tied to money because I always feel like money's a resource or a tool, as I heard on like they had said on Earn Your Leisure. It's like the way money just comes and goes. It's like you can't just hide under your mattress. Like you gotta enjoy life. You gotta put it out there for it to come back to you. So I can't say my accomplishment is like being the #1 seller. I can't it's just being a good human to other people and like being there for other people and helping them and things that they need, even if it wasn't industry related. Like that's another thing. Like all my friends aren't in the industry. I have friends that work in healthcare, work as teachers, and work at all these other industries because the world cannot operate in just entertainment. You know what I mean? Like,
and those are really, not to say what you don't do is what you do isn't anything for the world, but that's like really like teachers and things like that.
Yeah, that's how the world operates.
That's what rears tomorrow's.
Absolutely.
And at the end of the day, they're with the kids is more with teachers than they are with their families.
Absolutely.
You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah.
It's a thankless job.
8 hours.
You know what I mean?
A day. Like that's
nurses
like you're really,
and all that, saving people's lives. That's.
So like I just think that it's like I have accomplishments that I'm very proud of, like being top seller, curating these super cool, dope activations throughout the years. Like I've curated some really cool things. I've helped people with their careers. I've advocated for the upcoming interns and all of that. But like I think what I continue to want to accomplish is just be a good human. Like I think that's like my biggest accomplishment. Is I feel like you can't go in a room and somebody say something crazy about me. That's what I'll say my biggest accomplishment is. Is like people always have something really good to say about me. I've been there for them. Oh, Brittany Rae don't play. Like that's my little slogan. Like Brittany Rae don't play. Like that's
a slogan right there.
TJ, he's like a actor. He's like, and that's a really like. I look at him like I call him my son. Like if I had a child,
you got
like
that trademark
like
yet? You got that trademark yet?
Yeah, right. I got to put that on there. Yeah, Brittany Rae don't play.
Brittany Rae don't play.
Brittany Rae don't play. That's the trademark. But he be like, he go to LA. And he think people stopping him because they know him from the Wu-Tang show on Hulu. He always say that, like, Brittany Rae for mayor, Brittany Rae the mayor. And he'll say, they'll come up to him, he's thinking that they know him from this. They're like, oh, you know Brittany Rae, right? Don't you know Brittany Rae? And he's like, and he says it all the time. I'm like, all right. Like, it's so funny, but.
That's fine. That means he in the right position with the right person.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. But like I said, I'm always like, that's like, it's always love. I'm always going to help somebody in their career. I'm always going to help somebody with whatever they need. Like, that's my accomplishment. Just having good character and having a good name that people could, always call when they need anything. Yeah.
So let's shift lanes real quick.
All right.
Because you get a lot of the same stuff that I get.
Yeah.
Meaning that we activate a lot.
Yeah. I know where this is going.
Yeah.
No, I ain't got no tickets.
There we go.
No, I ain't got no bands for you. No, don't have all access for you.
I didn't have to say. You already knew what we was in for.
No, I ain't got no tickets for you.
How do you, since Brittany Rae don't play.
Yeah.
How do you deal with working with the biggest media corporation in the world?
Yeah.
And you do the biggest active. I know your phone be crazy.
All the time. All the time.
For tickets, for
access, for everything.
How do you deal with that?
You know, I try my best. I try my best for them. Like I do. Like I don't tell everybody no. If I truly can't do something, I'm honest about it and say I can't do it. But I try my best. I'll say that. Like I don't say no just because I want to be like mean. You know, I'm not, because I just hold the power and I'm just like, nah, son. Like, I don't like to, I'm not that person, but it could be very overwhelming at times, you know, where very overwhelming at times. And sometimes I think some people overstep. I think with just, some people overstep with just what they think they can ask you for. Like, it's like, bro, like, you got to put them back in their place. Like, all right, chill. Like, I mean, I'm sure, like.
Of course, yeah.
All the time.
Especially when we do things together.
Yeah, it's like crazy.
They're like, they know me, they know Brittany. Do say it.
Yeah, one of them. Yo, literally, and that
you know how I be on my stories. Nope.
Yeah,
don't ask me.
I be putting that too. No, I got that from Dren, low key. I be putting the sold out.
Yep.
I can't help you.
He be
putting that too. I'm like, yeah, I got that from Dren. I can't help you. Like,
and then they don't see what we do. Like, you know, we did Angie activation. We walking around, you know, you showing us.
We working.
We working.
They don't see that. As soon
like
as they see go when the doors open, they just see it as like,
it's like, yo, y'all wasn't on these calls. Y'all don't know what we had to do to make this happen, bro.
Yeah.
So you feel entitled because you got to respect it.
No.
You got to respect it.
You got, and it's work at the end of the day. They don't look at it as fun.
Yeah, it looks fun.
Looks fun, but it's so much work. But the thing is, I try my best to help as many people as I can. Like, people call me all the time.
Especially now, Powerhouse is coming up.
Oh, they coming. They already come. And I will say this, like, if you tell me early, that's the crazy part about me. I always remember it. Like, it's so weird. Like, if the earlier you get me, I'll remember, like, okay, this where I start making my little mental list. Like, okay, like, I just try to be there for them. But if you hit me up day of, and this person's cousin, and like, I can't be doing all that. Because at the end of the day, I'm working. It's like, if I could do it, I'll take care of you. But, and then there's things, you know, it's times that I have things that I give to people who don't even ask.
Those are the ones. Absolutely.
Yeah.
Because if you know how this game works, you got to respect it.
Yeah.
And those are the ones that deserve to be in a building.
Yeah. Because I've had people who work for some of these top companies in the world, but it might be in fashion. It's not in music. And I'm putting you on the floor, third row to see.
And then you know what's wild to me, like, you know, these things happen every year.
Yeah.
You know, we have a calendar. You know, one or two things might get added, but the same activations happen every year. They just get bigger.
Yeah.
Like, you know what's going on.
Yeah. Yeah.
Don't act crazy.
No.
You know what I'm saying? So, like, you want to hit me last minute, bro, you getting parked.
Yeah.
Bro? Like, You got to show, like you said, we working.
Yeah.
So like the audacity of some of these people sometimes, and it's no malice, but can you imagine?
Yeah. It's crazy. And I would never do things
and entitlement on top of that.
And I'm not that, first of all, I don't really like to ask too many people for things, but if I do, it's because I really, really would need it or really want to go. But it's how you ask. That's number one. Because some people are like, yo, bro, 3 tickets. Like, they just go straight for the killer. Not even good morning. Hey, how are you? How are you?
Or even just one ticket.
How are you?
And you know what's dope, though? Like with us, like, we in the same building all the time.
Yeah. We
don't even hit each other up.
No.
We just inside. Oh, yeah, what up? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But this is what happens when you moving like that.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, she knows she can hit vice versa. I'll never hit her up like, yo, Britt, I need some. We in there.
Anything. Like, but if you ask, you good, right? Because it's like.
But it's not for everybody.
It's not. It's not. You know and I think that's a bad entitlement issue that a lot of people have. Huge. Where they just think that
some people get angry, they get mad, but they don't want to.
Oh my gosh, don't they?
What? And I'm good, bro. Like,
yeah, that's how I feel. I'm like, good. Don't ask me again.
This is my thing. I'm like, bro,
you only helping me out doing that, bro.
Yo,
yeah, like I haven't heard from you all year.
That's how it be.
And all of a sudden, first it's like, yo, bro, what's good?
I know where it's going.
Okay, Foundation Bus is coming up. Okay, yeah, come on, bro. Yeah. Like, you're not even low. You're not even smooth with it.
No, and I always, it's so crazy because I love the feeling of offering somebody something. Like, I love offering people that don't even, like, get the opportunity to do these type of things. And then they come in there excited to be there. They don't do too much. They don't come in the room and you don't got to worry about them having some crazy conversation or doing something that's out of the norm.
Yeah, that's
another thing. Because
who invited you? Whose man is this? He got to go.
Crazy.
We just went through that at the 40 Fanatics.
Oh my gosh.
People pulling out their cell phones and all of that. Like, yo, you gotta go, bro.
It's like, and you gotta know the room. Read the room.
Man. Exactly.
You know you ain't supposed to have that phone.
Exactly.
Read the room.
We have a club inside the biggest activation in New York City.
Crazy.
And this is a safe space for the celebrities.
Absolutely.
The last thing they want somebody is like this.
A camera. No. I see somebody ask for a picture. I'm like, yo, I feel like if I act, like, first of all, I would never.
We know that.
I would never.
Yeah. Word.
But I see a man, like, really ask for, like, yo, can I get a photo? It's like, bro, do you see where you are? Like, are you asking for? Are you crazy?
Moment, man.
Are you crazy?
Enjoy the moment, man.
See, but this is the
That's so crazy though. I'm like, even as a female, I feel like the person would have probably said yes just to be nice. But I don't even know better than to do nothing that crazy.
Nah, you can't.
And the opportunity will always present itself.
And then especially where you're at, like they're walking through there all day.
Oh my gosh.
Celebrities are walking through there
all day.
Like, everybody's on the Breakfast Club. Everybody's on Angela. Everybody's on Angie Martinez.
Oh my gosh. And they're there to work.
Exactly.
At the end of the day, they're not there for you to. First of all, if you're there for the Breakfast Club, it's 7:00 in the morning, 6 in the morning.
Yep.
The last thing they're thinking about is coming there and taking photos. It's early. They're humans at the end of the day. You don't know.
At 5:00 in the morning just to be out at 7.
And you think they want people harassing them, running up to them, and even working there. You're working with them. You want to make sure you have them they feel like they're in a safe environment.
Exactly.
It's almost like wired for people to know what areas or what rooms they're going to be in where they have to do that, you know. And they're human at the end of the day. When I see people talking about, I was in a restaurant and this celebrity didn't take a picture of me, they start from the beginning. You were in a restaurant where they were eating in their safe space and just trying to,
they're just trying to eat with their family.
Unwind probably just came from 2 interviews and things of that nature, trying to wind down, and you coming through trying to build up in their space.
And you can't get mad at that because they're human at the end. Nobody owes you anything at the end of the day. Like, I understand, like,
fanaticism is crazy.
You know, it's crazy. Really you might be the only person that we had on this pod that could really relate to, like, the lifestyle we live.
Oh my gosh, absolutely, every day.
With all these us being behind the scenes. Like,
yeah, of course.
I could just imagine the way you get hit and the way I get hit up. It's like, yo, can I? And I'm like, bro.
It's crazy because I think that they also just look at you like, it's almost like if you was rich, they look at you like a money machine, but you the
That's
ticket
a good
machine.
Analogy. Yeah.
You the ticket machine.
Hey, here you go.
I got more.
Yep.
And then it's like, what's even crazy, I don't know if you get this. You probably got this before. They'll try to offer you money for it. I'm like, I can't take no money for no tickets. Like,
you trying to line me up.
You trying to get me fired.
You
like,
getting blocked. You try to do that
crazy. Like, but that's how, I'm like, if you know what I say? If you gonna pay me, pay Ticketmaster.
Exactly.
Yeah.
You ain't about to, like, make me lose my job. Like.
And then that's my thing. Like, I'm not going outside to get you because the minute I go outside, there's 50 People that I know.
Dren!
Bro, we not going to do that.
No.
Nah, we not doing that,
And
bro.
it's like, I'll tell you what time to be there. If you can't figure that out, I'm not going to, like, I'm working at the end of the day.
Yeah, and if you
They
mad
don't
at me.
understand, like, when it comes to brand partnerships, you're selling in a brand, but then you have to activate. The activation stands for activate. Okay, so activating is when you're on site. I'm sure for Dren or for me producing different shows and things like that, it's making sure the product is there. That's number one. Make sure the product
Everything
is there.
is right.
Making sure that the bartenders are good. Making sure that visually everything is placed in a certain way aesthetically. Making sure that the lighting is good. That your camera people are good. Making sure that you have all your passes for your team. It's so much that goes into it. People just think they just see it set up. We're there before the doors even open. You came
3 hours before.
Right, but we're saying that plant shouldn't be over here. That should be over here. And how many couches are here? And is this going to be enough in this section? And what about this? And it's just so much. Like you only
see a lot of people, like to piggyback off that.
Yeah.
A lot of people don't know, like we hire these companies to do these jobs, and then we come in.
Yeah.
And we got to move everything around.
It's
Like,
literally.
yo, what are y'all doing?
Because you can, and it's like, the thing is like you can have 20 calls, 40 emails, and still come there and be like, okay, this needs to be like here. It's like, and that's why I swear, I love working with the Duce team because the way I describe them, like you, Nancy, I'll be like, yo, like.
Yeah, we're not playing with that. We're not at all.
It's like.
You a beast too, because we be doing the walkthroughs with you. And it's like, when we do it with you, it's like, we don't got to move nothing.
No, because the thing
Brittany
is like.
came here, she shook the building up.
It's no fluff. That's what I love about their team. Is like, it's no fluff. Where's the work? A smile is not going to get, you know what I mean? It's like, okay, this is, like, I'm proactive rather than being reactive. If I see, like, I know my client likes this, or if I think my client might ask a question about this, before they even get there, I already fixed it.
Yeah.
Absolutely. And then if it's something else that they might find that I might have missed, then it's like, okay, I'll get it done. Like, it's not I think a lot of people think they could get away with a lot of stuff with just a smile. And like,
nah, I just want to personally thank you that every time we work with you, it's like a walk in the park.
Yeah, no, I don't play. I'm like, nah.
Because you know what you're doing.
Yeah.
So it's like, we're so trained and programmed that a lot of these people don't.
No.
They're new. They get these new positions.
Yeah.
They just like, oh, yeah, we got to do say it. Nah,
I don't even work
with. Yeah, we got a certain look. Things got to be the way we want them.
No.
And it's like, some people go crazy. I've seen people, grown adults, cry. Oh, I didn't. Listen, we're going to get this right.
Right, we're going to get it right, but get it together.
Face.
Yeah.
The doors, we got another hour for the doors.
Yeah, like,
shake all of this.
That's the crazy. But I like clients like that because they about their business. You want people to work for you that are like that. That's not just going to be fluff and this might not be turned the way. Like, no, everything has to be perfect. Even the logo, down to a logo. Like, you could have people make big mistakes with putting logos from a year ago, 2 years ago, and they're on and no, it's just not going to work. Take it down.
Colors are off.
Take it down.
Logo
the colors
change.
Off. The accent on the E.
Thank you. Wow. See what I'm saying? Yo, these little things are major. Like, they're very, very major.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So, like, I'm big on that. Like,
Yeah.
to this day, like, people hit me up all the time. Yo, I need first of all, spell it right.
Yeah.
First and foremost.
Always forgetting the accent on the
end. If I don't answer you.
But even the way.
And you got to
They
figure
had to
it
tell me. The accent on the E got to be the other way. So ever since, I will never make that mistake again.
Yeah.
They're like, you say it like, it would sound different if you say it. It might be Spanish and then it's supposed to be French.
Yeah. So some people hit me up, they'll call me Dre without the N. And I'm like, I'm all the way
Crazy.
good. Leave you on red, bro. Like,
Figure it
anytime
out.
you approach a brand, bro, line your ducks up.
Yeah.
Do your research,
Yeah,
bro.
even when I have a call with a client, just the right questions or the right things, preparation that you need to have in order for them to buy anything from you. If I come in, they said Steph Curry, he had an agent who's like pitching, he had for years or something, and was pitching him on something, and they presented a deck to him, and they had a different athlete's logo.
Oh my goodness.
He said he fired him the same day. Like,
Hell
bro,
yeah,
what is wrong with you?
Are you crazy?
Are you crazy?
And I get that a lot, and it's like, and some of them be my homies.
Yeah.
Like, and they think they doing something good. They'll tag me in something. I'm like, yo, you know me, I like to repost everything.
yeah.
I repost a lot of things.
Yeah.
Bro, I can't repost that. You got to spell it right. They're like, what do you mean? How do you
Yeah, no. Try, learn, Google.
figure it out,
Google.
man? Figure it out. Like,
Google.
You know what I'm saying? Especially
your
when
friend.
Even my emails, like when I have to spell out certain brands, I might not know how to spell it, but Google will teach me before. I'm not gonna just write an email the way I think it sounded out. Like, no, like you have to be respectful to the brands. Like,
And that's huge, especially with Duce because of the way with the accents.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? A lot of people just spell it out. You know what I'm saying?
I done seen Duce spelled 4,500 different ways.
Yo, I did
4,500.
I
Even
think,
with the capital versus the lowercase. I'm like, what? How does this even look like?
Yeah, I did a whole tutorial on my stories one time. They're like, yo, you wild. And I'm like, from this day on, if anyone hits me up for some type of sponsorship and you spell this wrong, bro, it's quiet for you. I spelled the whole thing out for you. And I gave you examples. I posted flyers.
Yeah.
Everything that these
start
people.
Start with the apostrophe. Let's start there. The beginning.
Yeah.
After the D.
Yeah.
Exactly. You know what I'm saying?
Let's start there.
You got the whole word together.
Yeah. Like I said, I didn't see that. Very interesting. So.
And it's just like, people try, but it's like, bro, it is what it is.
It's like your own name, right? Like how you say people call you Dre. I don't like when people spell my name wrong. If I wrote you an email, A-N-Y, why are you coming back to me, Brittany, E-N-E-Y,
anything
Brittany, all these crazy ways? I'm like, yo, are you, because I think sometimes you're being disrespectful. Like, are you trying to be funny?
Exactly.
Like
but that's what it is.
Yeah.
That's what, especially if you're asking for money.
Yeah, that's the craziest part.
You know what I'm saying? Like, you asking for the bag and
Let's
you can't even get it right. Nah, I'm all the way good, bro.
Yeah.
Aside of everybody that does spell it right, that I just have to tell them no because we just can't activate every situation.
Yeah.
We just can't.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, there's, you know how this works. There's budgets that got to make sense. Would we love to be everywhere? Yes. Are we? We're a lot of places.
Yes, a lot of places.
You know what I'm saying? But we can't everything.
No.
You know what I'm saying? It just doesn't work like that. You know what I'm saying?
And I love your team. You have a really great team of people who are on it and just like, no is no. And when it's yes, it's a blessing, but don't mess it up.
Word.
But don't
and
mess
then,
it up.
and then
I'm like, y'all the mafia.
Wait, do say mafia.
Mafia. I'm like, yo,
Word.
It gives that grit. Like, nah, like you earned it. And everybody that works there, they have such a long Rolodex of great companies that you all came from.
It's a good look.
Like,
and especially when we work together, it's dope because, you got two of the biggest brands collaborating, you know what I'm saying? And then, a lot of people they think, and I love when we work together because it gives me I said, do you see this?
Yeah.
What you talking about? We don't even do that.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Like, look at this production.
Yeah.
Look at the magnitude. Look what Brittany did. Like, this is what we do.
Yeah. And then when I see the things that they do, even at other events, I'm like, I always tell them, I'm like, y'all need to win an award. Like, where's the activation awards for what they do? Because I mean, even Art Basel alone, like, oh my gosh, like when you walked into their Art Basel activation, it was like a wall, like the wall, the press wall, the photo wall. It had like these like cupboards and like you open it and then a hand hands you like your own. Wild, like the cup was a Douce cup, like a sippy cup almost. With the barrel. Crazy. Who thought of that?
Yo, listen, that sippy cup alone is ridiculous.
So I have like 4 of them in my house. I'll be having to make sure nobody take one out the door.
That shit right there. I remember when I first seen it for his birthday party, I said, oh, nah, y'all wildin' right
Fire.
now.
Crazy.
Y'all taking marketing to a different level right now with this shit.
That was like unbelievable.
And then, these are the things that we do that people just don't see on the back end. No. They just want to be, yo, can I go, bro? No. Like,
and there's an opportunity, I think, that sometimes we have to be able to help people, to let them go to things and experience it. But it's just don't ruin it for yourself.
Exactly. People love doing that.
Yeah.
Like, listen,
that was crazy.
I think we would love to have everybody that we, of course we want to support. We want everybody to come. Why not? Yeah. But it's just like, you just can't. You can't help everybody. So. And I don't have guilt either. Like if
at all.
I'm sorry. It'll be the next one. Listen. Right now I got a list of people that's holding me down. Like family members, I got it. I'm like, oh my gosh. Like I still got things that a list of like these random things that are coming up that I have nothing to do with, that people like. If Lotto, I'm like, wait, she's coming to town. Like things that I don't even be knowing. They tell me what's coming.
Yeah. Listen, sometimes
I'm sure you know. Yo. Crazy.
It be happening.
He probably don't even know certain things.
People be showing me flyers, and I'm like, nah, we didn't sanction that. They're like, what do you mean? It says Deuce. I said, you know how many people use our name and just throw it on a flyer, bro?
Crazy.
It happens all the time. Mm-hmm. Sometimes I got to go in there and regulate.
Yeah. Like what's
you
going
said,
on?
Deuce Mafia. I'm like, yo, who did this? But then I see,
I've seen that done before. With y'all. And I had to, yo, that happened before.
It happens.
Somebody threw y'all up on the, I'm like, do y'all know? It was something crazy. And I'm like, what is it?
But
It's
sometimes
the era of the scammers, so you know
but
that.
sometimes we can't stop it because I walk into a spot and I'm like, you know what they did? They went to the liquor store.
Yeah, and they just bought a bunch
They
of
bought a
products.
few cases. They
Yeah.
supported the brand.
Yeah, that's what that was, and that's the thing. They supported the brand.
And they know when you throw our name on some, they
Everybody
gonna come
pop
out.
Everybody
Right.
gonna pop out.
But I'm like, bro, there's a way to do this.
It's a way to do it, and
can't
it's a
make a phone call
liability.
first.
It's
Yes.
a liability.
Make a phone call first,
Yeah.
if anything, man.
But that was, I mean, we've had those issues back when I was at Hot 97. People used to always throw the Hot 97. They paid for a Hot 97 DJ to be there, but it ain't a Hot 97 event. And they pay for a Hot 97 DJ to be there, and it's not a Hot 97 event. So y'all put the logo on there. God forbid something crazy happened up in there. They say I went because it was a Hot 97 event. And now we sued. You know,
And then people find out as a loophole. Oh, I hired him because he was a Hot 97 DJ.
yeah.
You can't lose
But
the
the
logo.
judge
You
don't care
hired-
about that. The judge
Exactly.
said it was. This is why they came. God forbid something crazy happens. Somebody got shot or something scary.
And they gonna try to sue Deuce.
Of course.
Yep.
So it's like, you know, you got to be careful with your logo, your brand, where it's at, who's there. Like, you know,
For sure.
we love the supporters, but
There's a way to do it.
just send an email.
Exactly.
You always say yes.
You know what I'm saying?
They try their best
Put
to
it in
say
the email.
yes.
Yeah, people text me all the time. Put it in the email.
Yeah.
Put it in the email. You know what I'm saying? Sometimes a lot of us have personal relationships. You know what I'm saying? But when it gets to higher ups, we need proof.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So somebody did a activation. I ain't say yes.
Yeah.
All right, they bought 3. They figured out the loophole. They bought some cases. They
Put it
did
up
it
there.
anyway. I can't stop you from buying cases. Like, all right, we popping. I
Right.
get it. You know what I'm
We
saying?
want you to drink the product.
Yeah, we want you to. You know what I'm saying? So, but
It's great product.
Absolutely.
There's a way.
Yeah.
To go
Nice and
about it.
smooth.
Yeah.
Yo, B, I'm telling you, I appreciate this. You know what I'm saying? For you to bless us with your energy, with
Thank
your
you.
story. You know, I'm pretty sure somebody's gonna watch this and get motivated by it.
I hope
Get
so. And
inspired
any way I
by
can help
it.
people, I'm always here.
You know what I'm
Like,
saying? And stop playing. Get your podcast. 'Cause look, she went out. She did like this, right? Oh, I'm sorry. You already know the game. Stop playing games.
Came back
bro.
real quick.
You think I ain't see
Came
that?
back real
I
quick.
seen
I was like,
that.
oh,
Yeah. This is definitely a lane I can see you doing. Because at the end of
Yeah.
the day, you just dropping jewels just like you did on our show just now.
yeah.
You know what I mean?
So outtakes, give your socials, give your.
Yeah. So, I don't know. Something just threw me off. What's that noise?
I don't know. That's a trainer or playing
Okay.
something out. You know, we
Just
live in
repeat
weird
that.
times.
Repeat that part
Oh,
again.
that's a bite.
So it is. Yeah. Give the viewers your socials, your contacts, Instagram.
Yeah, so you
What's
can
the best
find
way to-
me on Instagram at Brit2Fly, BRI 2 Fly FLY. You can contact me through there. You can send me a DM if you ever need any help, any advice, a plug. No tickets unless you hit me up like way in advance. But you know, I'm here. I'm here to support the next generation. People have helped me and supported me through my career, and so if I could be that for anybody else, I'll definitely be supportive.
So any advice for the young females out there that want to be the next?
Yeah, I would just say cultivate your relationships. Like really, I think a lot of people look at people that are like further ahead and think that that's the only way that they can make it. But a lot of times it's really the people that you're growing up with that becomes the next generation of movers and shakers in the industry. So like my peers that I worked alongside at BLS, Hot 97, or even in college, we all were the next generation of who is the people working at the labels, who's managing these artists. Like a lot of my friends that work in the industry, we all was saying this is what we wanted to do. And, you know, instead of us banging on doors, we started creating our own. So I would just say like, work together. Like there's no competition at the top. Like that's there, like there's no reason to create beef and oh, this person has this person has that. Like no, collaboration is at the top. And so I would definitely recommend to look in your circle first before you look at somebody who's like at a mentorship level that you feel like, oh, it's not gonna happen because they don't know who I am or I can't get there. Like
Or
no,
somebody
build
that's
it.
established
Build it.
already.
And this is the AI tech internet era where you literally could create your own brand. The internet is there. You have YouTube, you have Instagram, you can find people. You don't have to wait till your moment comes that you run up on somebody. Like you could literally go on Instagram, put the name in that you want to contact, DM them, get their email, go on Google, go on LinkedIn. So it's like you could literally, I always say people are accessible. Somebody be like, oh, how do I get this artist? Everybody's accessible. Oh, let me find this person. Even if I don't know them, I'm Googling it, I'm LinkedIn it. And so everything is attainable and every person is accessible. You just have to find your way to get there. And then once you get there, chat GPT your email. Write me an email that would get me a meeting with such and such and such. I have this brand, and it will literally write you an email in 30 seconds. And it's like more than ever, the next generation has the opportunity to make it in a way that nobody before has, because you had to think. You had to be in those rooms. You had to intern. You had to get coffee. None of that exists anymore. So like I would utilize the blessings of tomorrow and AI and Instagram, social media, TikTok to find the people that you need to make who you want to be. So yeah.
You heard it from the queen herself.
If we do say ourselves, you already know. On to the next.